Everything's broken. Everything's broken. Oh man, I'm tired. What was I doing? This thingy. Oh, I have to fix stuff. It's not Scary Burgtober no more. Hold up. I can't be Ketchup Man anymore. I can't be Ketchup any man. Which one is not ketchup? These have no icons. Is this not ketchup? Is there not be cheese? What the? This is cheese. This is the wrong one too. Alright, is this one not cheese? Okay. Hey, what up, Slab? How you be doing? I'm all small. I'm just a little man, little guy. Correct version. Yeah, this is, we're back to Vanilla Burg. Because Scary Burgtober's over. Now it's regular Vember. Burgvember. Even though we may play Scary Gamer 2, I don't know. Oh, I'm so tired, dude. I've fallen asleep multiple times during the day. And I thought about not streaming all. I kind of want to stream. And we're not necessarily going to play Mortal Kombat today, but what I want to do is I want to keep watching this documentary and learn about the history of Mortal Kombat and stuff. So where we leave off last night? Oh, last time. Did you get a headache for yesterday? No, no headache. I'm just really freaking tired. Like, I woke up at 12 p.m., which is like the latest I ever woken up in like a long time. And then I laid in bed for a long time until like 3 p.m. and got up and made lunch or something, and then I laid in bed some more and went out. I went to Spirit Halloween at like 6 p.m. to get some like stuff on discount because Halloween's over, and then I went grocery shopping, and then I ate dinner, and I came back and I almost fell asleep again, and now it's 11 p.m. Like, what happened? I tried to go to bed, but I'm freaking tired. I want to stream. So let's learn about, where do we leave off? We left the factory floor. Lamoa. Yeah, exactly. Laughing my organ af. You woke up at 4 p. like AM or PM? Cause then you have to work. Oh, there's more video. Ooh, Ed and John hatch a plan. That's crazy. PM? Okay, that's not bad. When I was unemployed, like, I would wake up at 6 p.m. and wait. I would like go to sleep at like 5 a.m. Wake up at 6 p.m. or some shit. Woke up at 6 p.m. crashed at 12. Yeah, but you had to work. I didn't have to do work. I just had to be tired. All right, so how much you know about Mortal Kombat? You know what history of Mortal Kombat? You're about to learn, because we're gonna watch this documentary. There was no work at all. That sucks. Okay, well, you can learn about the history of Midway and Ed Boon and John Tobias as they create Mortal Kombat, because this Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection came out recently, and all the nerds are mad because the games are not well emulated or some shit. I don't care about that crap. This documentary stuff, this history stuff from Mortal Kombat is fascinating, and I feel like it's really well done so far. So we're going to learn about how Ed and John hatched a plan while Ed was programming Super High Impact Football and John was working on Total Carnage. The two of them started swapping ideas for a fighting game featuring large digitized characters.
At
Total
that
Carnage
point,
is crazy.
John was finishing.
Where's the
Total
subtitles?
Carnage, and I was finishing Super High Impact.
Okay, there.
At that point, John was finishing Total Carnage, and I was finishing Super High Impact.
I've never played Super High Impact or Total Carnage before. Oh, whoa, jump scare. Jump scares in a football game?
Talk about what would become Mortal Kombat. I think the initial conversation was about, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a one-on-one fighting game?
John and I were talking about a game called Street Fighter.
What? What's
Who
that?
had really big characters. The thing that stood out for us about Street Fighter was they had really big characters on the screen.
Still kind of crazy to see Street Fighter in a Mortal Kombat game, sort of.
Character sprites that I had done in the last 2 games.
And we were saying
The cooler
how
game?
cool
Which
would
one?
it
Street
be to
Fighter?
have
Nah.
digitized characters.
Street Fighter was kind of fantastical hand animation, beautiful stuff, but their vision was, let's take this photorealistic system we have now and have a photorealistic fighting game.
For me, it was the opportunity to take all this inspiration from all the kung fu films that I grew up watching and kind of throwing it into a game.
The conversation went towards Jean-Claude Van Damme, and at some point just fixated on the idea of doing a photorealistic.
This will not be Nintendo.
fighting game. And we put a presentation together when we gave it to Roger Sharp.
We're thinking of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let's see if he's interested.
The reason we made a video to pitch to Jean-Claude Van Damme was because another team at Midway had done the same thing with Terminator arcade game, as well as...
Oh yeah, I played that game.
Aerosmith.
And that game.
And so we decided just to go that route because they were having success with doing that. We found the movie Bloodsport, and we basically grabbed a number of frames of him just kind of getting into a fighting stance pose, and we put the power bars, and we kind of mocked up what a generic fighting game screen. And again, just to give him the idea of what the game would look like, how he would be the star, and how realistic the graphics would be.
And I reached out, and it wasn't a no.
Sounds like it was a
I
no.
think things didn't happen quickly enough. I don't think that it was ever like a...
Well, apparently not, because Jean-Claude Van Damme came back from Mortal Kombat 11.
Roger, just forget it. Because I think we just kind of left it.
So that was just kind of like the way that you would pitch an idea. But as far as to management, my recollection was that we never gave a formal presentation. Street Fighter was really
Thank God.
big, and when we said we want to do a fighting game like this with our graphics, there wasn't much convincing that needed to be done. It was, yes, that obviously is a really cool idea.
I thought it was a fantastic idea, and I knew that I had to still finish Total Carnage, and I know Ed was still working on High Impact.
I should play this game. This
I
game
think
looks
that was
crazy.
the beginning of the
It's like
conversation.
2D
Maybe
Blitz.
our next game could be this could be this fighting game.
Cool. Development teams, Fierce and Foursome, at Midway were quite small but extremely passionate. The core team that brought Mortal Kombat to life was 4 people: Ed Boon, John Tobias, John Vogel, and Dan Forden.
The team on Mortal Kombat 1 was 4 of us.
4 people. He looks the same. They all look the same. Except him. He looks different.
There was other sort of support staff, but that had to do more with like the cabinet and the wire.
As Dan Forden looks
A team
older for
being
sure.
composed of,
I don't look older,
I
but
think,
still.
4, 5, 6 people was not uncommon.
You were in one of 2 categories.
He looks way
programmer
different.
Or artist, and that was basically it. Everything felt like, being in a rock band or something. Just a very few number
Back
of
when
guys used
game
guitar,
dev
used
was
drums,
cool.
We all had our own jobs to do, and we'd fight with each other, and we'd hang out with each other and go see movies with each other and stuff. And
Certainly when I started working on Smash TV, it was myself, Mark Turmel, and I think there was
Turmel.
maybe one other programmer at the time. And then Eugene Jarvis eventually came on.
Partly it was just the simplicity of the games of that era.
Robotron's crazy.
Pixel art that a lot of the animation was just done with graph paper. Say Defender, all the animations of that game could be done in a week.
a lot of people think that, somebody up high says you're going to make a fighting game and you're going to call it Mortal Kombat and it's going to look like this, and then we go, okay, and do it. That's not how it worked at all.
It's a bit of the Wild West. There wasn't rules. There wasn't any, well, this is how you make a video game. Everybody made it differently. And as long as cool new stuff was showing up on your screen every once in a while, management would, peek their head in. Oh, you got fatalities going. Good job. And then they'd leave.
Good job.
And you just continue with
Man, so cool. And before social media ruined everything too.
So pure, you didn't have to, have a committee meeting every time you wanted to add a feature. And
Things were so loose back then. There wasn't really a workflow. It was like, hey, we need to get something done. Just do it.
it was just like, yeah, let's try this out, and see if it works.
And I think maybe a part of it was also that I wasn't conscious of might have been to keep costs down. I know what my salary was at the time. I don't know what Ed's salary was, but I have to believe that the development of MK in terms of the cost of us had to have been, I don't know, not much.
That's what Tobias thinks.
I remember at the end of my first year working at Midway, I was doing my taxes. My dad was helping me do my taxes. When I started at Williams, I was making $19,000 a year. He knew the hours I was putting in, and we did the math, and I was making probably $2 an hour is what I was making working at Williams, and I didn't care. I loved the work so much.
I know it's not a popular topic, but the overnighters and the going out for breakfast. Nobody told us to do that. Nobody said stay till midnight tonight. If anything, they were, you guys are burning yourselves out, and you gotta take it easy or something. So
because of the schedules,
Wild to
because of the
imagine.
people there were, and we were all playing
That's
multiple
Nightwolf.
roles, wore multiple hats, that there was just too much work. And it wasn't like we were being made to do this. It was an art, it was a craft, and it was a labor of love. So we were so passionate that we spent, all of our waking hours and our sleeping hours in the studio.
some people look back and they go, oh, that was that was abuse or something like that. It's like, no, we were guys in our 20s who were
20s.
motivated to do something cool. You were working on Liu Kang's, flying kick, and it was feeling good.
It does
You
sound
wanted
pretty
to
cool.
keep perfecting it.
I wish I
And
could work
it was
on Liu
your- it
Kang's
was
flying
my
kick at
obsession.
work.
It was like being paid to do a hobby. If a band is up all night learning a song,
Yeah, man, that's
they want to nail it.
what
And
they
it's
do.
The exact same thing. It's completely self-motivated.
Back then, it was
You can
nothing
make a
but
Mortal Kombat game right now.
working
Actually, you
hours,
literally
so
could. There's so many tools now
the
available
secret
to
sauce
just regular
was
people now.
basically we were just a bunch of knuckleheads doing whatever we wanted.
Like
to
a
do.
lot of college age kids nowadays, or even back when I was in college, were making like weird digitized fan games or some shit. The first sketches in early 1992, John Tobias began creating the now legendary Mortal Kombat cast with a simple sketches in a lined notebook. The character will become Johnny Cage here under his original name, Michael Grimm. That's wild. Can I zoom in? Oh shoot! Look at good handwriting on Tobias. How do I move around? Oh. You would name it Butt Fart Combat 2. You know what? They probably would name it that. Again, they're in their 20s. Liu Kang, hero / protag. Michael Grimm, the sidekick. Stryker was supposed to be MK1? That's crazy. Raiden, the mentor. Kano, the trickster. Ninja 1, hunter. Ninja 2, hunted. Pretty cool. Gongoro, threshold guardian. Interesting. Shang Lao, whoa. Shapeshifter, antagonist. Kitsune, herald. Shang Lao, 500 years ago, corrupts the Shaolin tournament after Gongoro becomes champion. Lao uses the souls of dead warriors to stay immortal and appease his gods. Shang Lao's gods want to invade our realm. They use the tournament to unbalance the Furies. When Earth realm is in the chaos, Shang Lao's gods can step through the dimensional gates. What does it say? How do I hide this? There you go. Shang Lao's island is the gateway. Tournaments are generational, or even every 100 years. Cool. And multiple pages. Oh, there were multiple pages. Oh, this is so cool. Ugh. Damn, I'm so glad he kept this shit. What a brand notepad this was. Shang Lao to the world. He is a little known warrior, ruler of an island fortress, and host to legendary martial arts tournament. In reality, he is a demon of vast destructive powers. He was cursed by his gods and must drink the blood of true warriors in order to appease them. Unknown to most participants, the Kumite is the means Shang Lao employs to obtain warriors he needs for its unholy ceremony. Shang Lao's army, along with a small but powerful army of thugs and henchmen, Shang Lao also utilizes services of Taoist sorcerers, their loyal monks, as well as various other otherworld creatures. Staples brand, maybe, I don't know. So these kinds of notebooks are called like stenographer notebooks or something. I have a few notebooks like this. Lin Kuei / ninja. Lin Kuei is not a ninja. The actual identity of the warrior is unknown. However, based on his markings of his uniform, it believes he belongs to the Lin Kuei, a legendary clan of Chinese ninjas. See, ninja are not Chinese. Ninja are traditionally Japanese. Interesting. So that's Sub-Zero, but Sub-Zero never had a sword like that. Raiden, the name Raiden is actually that of a deity known as the Thunder God. It is rumored he received a personal invitation by Shang Lao himself and took the form of human to compete in the tournament. He is now what? Michael Grimm is crazy. A martial artist superstar trained throughout his life by great masters from around the world. Grimm uses his talents on the big screen. He is the current box office champ and star of such movies as Dragon's Fist 2, and the award-winning Sudden Violence. That's Johnny Cage. That's crazy. Cow. It's not even Kano. Wait, what did it say the first time? It says Kano here, but it says Cow here. A mercenary, thug, extortionist, thief, Cow lives a life of crime and injustice. He's a devoted member of the Yakuza. See, you know, most Mortal Kombat heads know this. Is it pronounced Raiden or Raiden or Raiden? So, because it's made by Westerners, they probably didn't know how to say things in Japanese. So his name is Raiden in Mortal Kombat. In the real world, it'd be Raiden, but in this lore, it's Raiden. And there was the term Raiden, like this, R-A-I-D-E-N, was like already used for some other game, like a shoot 'em up game or something. So whenever they put it on consoles, Mortal Kombat on consoles, they would change the A to a Y. So his name was Ray, R-A-Y, Den. But on arcade, it was R-A-I-D-E-N. So Kano, most Mortal Kombat heads know this, but non-Mortal Kombat heads probably don't know this, is in the original Mortal Kombat 1, Kano was Japanese. And he's probably Japanese in Mortal Kombat 2, I don't know. But the movie came out, and they hired an Australian actor, Trevor Goddard, I think his name is. And he did such a good job as Kano that they retconned Kano to be Australian after the movie came out. But originally he was Japanese. Who the fuck is Rokuro? This is Liu Kang. Rokuro belongs to a race of demon warriors called the Rokuro Kubi, demons of the dark. Reputed to be savage barbarians, Rokuro will use this misrepresentation against his opponents. He will use the tournament to restore the pride and respect of his race. I mean, he's got the spiky gauntlets like Liu Kang. but that's crazy looking. Liu Kang was no demon guy. That's all. What the heck is a Rokuro? Designing the legends. To make sure that the characters stood out from each other on screen, the Midway team leaned into bold colors and simple shapes.
My job on MK1.
Not
basically to do
MK1, the
backgrounds.
first Mortal Kombat.
John would do characters, and I would do the backgrounds. Things were very simple back then, you know. Like,
This stuff is so cool. Them recording the digitized graphics.
he would choose which frames he wanted to use, and then cut the background away from the characters, and that was his job, you know.
Literally after we shot the footage, I
That
think
mouse.
maybe that night or the next day, I started stripping frames right away.
The brick mouse, for real. You ever use one of those?
We were just sort of discovering. I think we probably taped more than we needed.
A ball
just
mouse.
to
You
make
probably
sure
even know
we
what
got
ball
the
mice are.
footage.
I remember
Instead of a
after the-
laser, they have like
sort of
literal
leg
rubber
wrap,
balls
I
inside of
would
them.
Say something along the lines of, you know, trust us. It's going to be really
I
cool.
can't
The
imagine
image
those
is
actors
clear
being
in my
like, what the
head.
hell are they
Sometimes
making me
we
do?
forget that it's not inside everybody's head.
Because no one really done this shit before.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, ball mice are trash. That's all we had back then.
Can you do that, or is that the beginning part? She should do it from the stance. Right.
We were trying to get a film-like quality.
These fucking
but we wanted
martial
to
arts
just amp
nerds.
it up a little bit. And once we realized that pumping up colors really attracted people to our games, that was, you know, also our trademark.
A lot of the character design that I did for Mortal Kombat was based on the limitations of the hardware. So I knew that we had a limited color palette that we could work with. I knew that you know, the pixel resolution kind of restricted what we were capable of doing. So bold colors, simple shapes would distinguish one character from another. Would be
It's called
important.
silhouette,
And I
dog.
knew that a color palette that would distinguish one character from another was also important. And I was careful not to repeat those things.
You know, the thing about the ninjas was, you know, the nature of them, as you know, there were palette swaps of each other. It was all to save memory. You know, it was a very precious thing in our arcade games. And so Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they were the same character with different colors. You know, John wrote this amazing backstory behind them, making them enemies, and that added to the mystique of the characters.
Such cool character, iconic characters. It's wild. Why didn't they have a scan of? Oh yeah, they have a scan of this.
In one of the pages of my notebook, I had scribbled, okay, here are the,
There it
here are
is.
the characters and here are their archetypes. I knew that, well, we need a hero,
There's Liu Kang,
we need a villain,
Shang Tsung.
we need a sidekick, we need all these things. I was a big Joseph Campbell fan. I had read his books, and I was aware of the hero's journey and the character archetypes that he had sort of outlined. I
When he
thought,
says
okay,
archetypes
well,
is weird.
If we could tell implicit story through character archetypes, the
It's
players might
archetypes,
sort
right?
of almost
I don't know.
subconsciously relate to the characters in a particular way. So that played a part in sort of the character choices we made. I don't recall
Striker is
exactly why we did
crazy.
some characters and not others. I know that we were limited with the number of
Kitsune,
characters
it's
we
probably
could do.
Katana.
A few of them I remember not using. One of them was
Hey,
a character
man,
called
Tobias is
Miyamoto
more-
Kitsune. It was based on a Japanese.
Okay, this is why
mythological character. And another one
they
called
they
Kuro,
pronounce Raiden the way they
based on,
did
I
because
think, a Japanese
Tobias is mispronouncing everything. He said
Those two
Kitsune.
characters didn't make
He
sense.
said
I
called
think part of
it
it was,
Kitsune, not Kitsune.
because the names became a big deal for us. It's like, you know, how does this name roll off the tongue?
That's so
You know,
funny.
The name was too long. We knew it was going to be difficult to display on the health meters.
That's
It was
interesting
Usually silly
bit.
things like that would play a part in some of the choices we made.
Most of the characters' names came from John Tobias.
Who doesn't know how to
Couple
pronounce
of
them?
He didn't have a name written down for them. He had Ninja 1 and Ninja 2. I was a little bit more of like a simple superhero mindset, so I started calling them Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Those simple names were kind of like my influence, but the authentic, cool names, Goro, Shang Tsung, Kano,
Authentic
Raiden, you know,
when they're all names he just made up.
For Mortal Kombat 1, there wasn't a lot in the way of concept art that we did.
Why they play Mortal Kombat 2
conceptualization was
music?
Just limited to
What's
just
Mortal Kombat 1?
scribblings in a notepad.
I don't
Man, why can't I
remember,
read all this shit?
many, if any, drawings of backgrounds, but there may have been some. I just remember kind of like I said, just winging it and doing whatever. Like John would say, I'd like a dungeon or something, and that became Goro's lair, you know. I had already learned how to do the parallax scrolling stuff from Terminator 2, so that worked out well with doing parallax stuff for Mortal Kombat as well. I know there was one specific background that he wanted, and that was with statues, the statue background.
That's so cool. These sketches are neat.
Just make something look cool. That was basically the rule.
Why are they writing all caps?
I went to Chinatown, and just to get references and stuff, there would be, you know, an interesting vase, and I would video that vase, and then I use that, and that's Shang Tsung's.
Before phones.
One of Shang Tsung's thrones is like the vase, you know. There's the dragon that was sitting on Ken Fedesna's desk. I just said, hey, can I video that? And he's like, cool. So I grabbed it off his desk, took it to my office, and grabbed it. That's like in one of the backgrounds, and you know, there's two of them. You know, and then there's the pagoda in Chinatown that I videoed that and used that as, you know, the courtyard, I guess we call it, I think. You know, Shang Tsung's
that's
also
crazy.
that big roof thing.
That's a real
from
thing?
Chicago. That's from Chinatown. So sometimes it meant opening a book and going, oh, that's a cool Chinese thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Get
cool
the
Chinese
camera,
thing.
take
That's what they
video
do.
of it and use that. There are things
Cultural
from
appropriation.
books in Mortal Kombat 1. You know, I just went out and grabbed stuff. What looks cool? Kind of a guerrilla artsy sort of way. It wasn't really planned all that much back then.
Cool. A world begins to take shape. Oh, here's some of the stuff. With a few simple sketches, John Tobias took the first steps towards creating what would become an expansive universe. John Vogel would soon take these concepts and begin building games, fighting arenas. Oh, this is so neat. First series of Kumite will take place in the open courtyard of Shanglao's fortress. Day, setting sun. That didn't happen. Night, lightning. I don't think that happened. In the outdoor setting of the first series, we'll also have different weather conditions. This won't affect the players, but will provide. I don't think that happened. Not in Mortal Kombat 1. The next two series of battles will take place within the palace, and final encounter will happen in Shanglao's throne room. Dungeon. Cool. Maybe the tournament takes place over a day. Or whatever. What's this? Bios and attract mode. These early character biographies evolved to create rivalries that made Mortal Kombat's world more interesting and exciting than merely two sprites hitting each other. John also suggested a scroll of Shang Tsung's tournament invite appear in the attract mode, which was ultimately not pursued. Openings. Once a member of the super secret White Lotus Society, Liu Kang left the organization in order to represent the Shaolin temples in the tournament. Kang is strong in his religious crossed out beliefs. He's not religious. I guess that's true to the character. And despises Shang Lao. He competes only for the chance to expose the true nature of the contest. Grim, martial arts superstar trained by the masters. We saw that already, sort of. Ninja One. Oh, this is the ninja stuff. Lin Kuei. This warrior is unknown. However, based on the markings of the uniform, it is believed he belongs to the Lin Kuei, a legendary clan of Chinese ninja. Shrouded in mystery, the true identity of this ninja is unknown. He has shown signs of distrust and hatred towards the Lin Kuei, a clear sign of opposing clans. Raiden is actually that of a deity. No, oh, didn't read this shit already? Oh, we read it in the video. Oh, here's the invitation. Attention. The Imperial Court of Shanglao invites warriors of all styles to compete in the most glorious of martial arts tournaments. The contest will be held on the island fortress of Shanglao, located at the center of the Celestial Sea. Grand prize: immortality. Interesting. Animate scroll opening? Horizontal. Cool. In addition to playable cast of humans, John Tobias imagined a fearsome four-armed boss monster named Goro. Yep, that looks like Goro. Or Gone Goro. Side view. Goro lives. Once the design was final, Goro was created as two posable foam-covered models, a prominent spare, and animated using stop-motion techniques. Goro's original model now sits under glass in the Realm Studios. It looks amazing. That's so crazy looking. Holy crap. Perfecting the feel. Thanks to eternal playtesting, many key features were suggested, created, and tested in very short order, from exaggerated uppercuts to infamous finishing moves. Rapid iteration was the key to finding out what worked.
One of the really cool things about Mortal Kombat and about some of the really great games, if you have a really great winning concept, often, you know, they got that game running in like a month. A lot of modern games, it seems like they spend all their time in this graphical wilderness trying to get everything looking so cool, and then they've got like 3 weeks left to figure out what the game is.
We had a very fast iteration. I would get art from John, you know, we put it in, and an hour later we were playing it.
That's, you know, that's what you could do back when there were less expectations of what a video game was.
The first time you play it, you just go, this is incredible. You knew you were on the right course.
Who wins his match?
Just
John
eager
or
to help
Ed?
people in and give them feedback on stuff.
A lot of times it was just, you know, someone, you'd have someone in your office to look at something and they go, hey, what about this? And then, you know, maybe that's a good idea.
You should pull out a gun and kill him.
And be turned into reality in the same day.
Yeah,
basically.
in fact, I remember we would record a little bit of footage.
I know that punch.
And it wasn't until Ed actually got the frames and could get them in the game, not until that point would we know that we were making the right choices.
When we were making this game, Street Fighter II was the big rage, and I was a huge admirer of that game. At the same time, I felt like there was a little bit more ceiling room in terms of how outrageous you can get with the moves. We wanted characters using magic, disappearing, teleporting, doing all these kind of unpredictable things. And a lot of the moves were constructed from kind of almost like scraps. Kano's ball was from his flipping animation. Scorpion's teleport was from his jump punch animation.
You know, Scorpion throwing a spear and pulling somebody in, that, you know.
It was something that I remember I thought of that was just an outrageous move that wasn't seen in any other fighting game.
Right, although we used to try to do the wind up and throw is usually like 5 frames maybe. Like if you went like
Yeah, something like that.
It was one of those spur of the moment, inspirational ideas that ended up becoming like very signature, very iconic.
Yeah, this, I don't know if they talk about it. The story is like, he just came up with this scorpion spear move on the fly. There was no plan for it. He's like, the actor was there. He's like, you know, it'd be cool if you threw something. So can you like act like you're throwing something, and we'll figure it out later.
How things animated across the screen.
When we did the Liu Kang flying kick, you got to stop him once he makes contact, and it'll make the impact feel like it's a lot more intense,
True.
more forceful.
Hit stop or whatever it's called.
How important it is that we get the timing of all these things correct.
Other than, you know, how John would define what the actual frames of animation were, Ed defined how things moved around.
There's little nuances that are put into the game that a lot of players don't identify, but they just know that it feels good.
Ironically, because supposedly the games in this collection don't feel good.
I think that was a hard lesson to learn back in the day of, hey, I want this animation to be really smooth and I want it to be like 100 frames. And it's like, no, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And
Early animation frames.
it has to feel good.
The irony is, people make fun of Mortal Kombat animations these days. And I think a lot of the modern Mortal Kombat still try to match the animation style of the early Mortal Kombat games. People make fun of it for that.
Get over here, you know, the uppercut was such a big, ridiculous reaction.
Getting the animation of the character launching him into the air, putting the blood on it, being knocked down, and
they shake the screen.
And
Yeah, the uppercuts felt so good, dude.
It's like, no, we need like a really big sound for a hit. It's like, okay, so I made like a really big sound for a hit. The scream of the attacker. The victim, you know, yelling as he
Is
flies
it past
away.
your third bedtime? Hold on, what time is it?
Put
11.
all
It's
that
almost
stuff
12,
together, it's like,
so
boom.
It's almost
I remember we
third
would just walk around
bedtime.
just doing uppercuts again and again and going, you know, God,
And
it feels so good. That
though
feels so
technically, I've gone to sleep multiple times already today because I'm so fucking tired.
That's how
So
people knew when
it might
something
be
was
my
cool or
fourth
anything.
bedtime, for all
People
I
were
know.
like, holy smokes. And now you know you have something. And then, so that, and then the fatality.
Like fatalities were the big thing that made us a hit.
Oh, they have a whole video just for fatalities? Get over here. During Scorpion's performance capture, Ed Boon explained, you know, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You know, it would be a cool ass move. They then shot his idea of Scorpion to throw a projectile at his opponents using a rope to reel them in. Here, Ed and John Tobias offer direction and demonstration for the attack they intend to create. This is so cool. I love this behind the scenes shit. Cool ass move. And Moon's like, hey John, dude, ninjas have ropes. It'd be cool if you threw a rope. This is crazy that they have this on video of him just making up one of the most iconic fighting game moves ever by saying, you know, it would be a cool ass move. Do they have ropes? It's so funny. So they're already thinking about how they're going to compile the sprites together. I mean, they have to, because they only have the actors there for a limited amount of time. So cool that they have the vision already in their head, even on the fly. Snake thing. It would become a snake in the movie. Wow. And the same with the Scorpion actor. He's like, he's part of history too. Whoever this guy is. Was that the first ever get over here from Ed Boon himself? And cool that, you know, Tobias and Boon are on the same page. That's cool. Too many buttons. Early in development, John Tobias sketched out a possible control layout using seven buttons. Low, medium, high punches and kicks, plus a button for block. What that day was only entering for a few days. Moving to attacks resulted in a final 5-button layout. Stance. Kick. Punch. Block. Blocking high, medium, and low would be crazy. Jump, crouch. Interesting. People still hate the block button. Traditional fighting game enthusiasts, like basically Street Fighter heads or Japanese fighter heads, hate the block button. Fatal attractions, providing an unexpected moment of pure shock value. The grisly, cartoonish finishing moves help define Mortal Kombat to players. Here's what helped define the fatality moves themselves. Content warning. Violence. Nice. Good one.
Street Fighter had this feature which I loved and hated at the same time. You can get your opponent dizzy. I loved the fact when I was the aggressor and saw my opponent dizzy, you're almost like salivating at this free hit that you get. And then I hated the idea of being the victim. I put the dizzy feature at the end of the fight. You just get like one last hit. And everybody would do an uppercut as your kind of like payoff. We had a feature that we had dropped in the game where Shang Tsung, when he would defeat you, he would take a sword out and he would like cut your head off. And we weren't going to use it because we were out of space, but we still had the animations of
Pretty
all
crazy.
the characters falling to their knees without a head. One day I just kind of piecemealed the idea of Johnny Cage uppercutting the opponent with his uppercut animation, and then using the animations of the character with his head, you know, cut off.
Johnny Cage wins. Flawless victory fatality.
I showed it to John, I showed it to the rest of the team, and everybody lost
Like,
their
you're
mind. We have to
sick,
do this.
Boone.
The fact that we gave
You're a sick
the
man.
players the ability to actually perform this kind of death blow, this kind of killing move, was really the birth of that idea. Some people were kind of like saying, I don't think we can get away with, you know, letting the player kill the other player. So we showed it to management, and they
We
loved
love
it.
killing people.
I was
Go
surprised
for it.
that we could include the level of you know, blood spattering around that we did. But of course, you know, when I was working on Mortal Kombat, I had just come from Smash TV and Total Carnage, and so, you know, the levels of blood spattering around the screen wasn't new to me.
They zoom in on the
From that
blood.
point on, it was, okay, now we got to think of fatalities for all the characters. Some of the later characters, we actually grabbed animations of them, you know, Kano ripping the heart out, Sonya doing the kiss of death and all that.
Interesting.
The spine rip was a suggestion from John Tobias, referencing the movie Predator, and he said, why don't we do what they did in Predator, where you pull the head out?
It's just like, oh, it was just like, oh my God.
And I remember saying, you know,
That's
you know,
an evil
I think
laugh.
That's probably crossing the line. We can't do it. Again, once we mocked it up, put it into the game, you know, there was no turning back. Everybody was just losing their mind.
And if anything, I felt like there was a bit of encouragement coming from other folks, you know, around the office, just because of the excitement that it drew from the players.
Everybody had to see this. No one had ever seen somebody removing someone's spinal cord.
Except
It
in
really-
Predator,
it's interesting.
apparently.
It made it so much more emotional. It just
Never seen
you're just
Predator.
like, yeah, you know, it's almost like that barbaric, primal emotion, like yeah.
Murder, yeah. What is this shit?
We never performance captured.
Who are
a
these
fatality
guys?
For Liu Kang, but there were some animations that we had not used. One of them was this really cool cartwheel kick.
Whoa.
Yeah, let's grab that again, even if we don't use it.
We were both like, wow, we'll find a place for that.
He messed it
When
up.
came time to do Liu Kang's fatality, we just spliced on the uppercut animation at the end of it, and it wasn't disgusting, it wasn't gross, it wasn't shocking.
Liu Kang wins.
And we just kind of reasoned with ourselves to say, well, Liu Kang's the hero, he's a Shaolin monk, he's peaceful, heroes don't kill people, so he just gave him a big uppercut. The process of adding fatalities into the game created so much energy in the whole studio in terms of their excitement for the game.
Later on, Liu Kang would kill hell of people.
Again, you're in a very small screen.
This galloping
environment.
ghosts.
You
Where
really
they
have to
at?
exaggerate things. You have to make it just outrageous.
Scorpion wins.
Found the Holy Grail. It's like hitting the lottery. You know, it was something that we knew was going to be a signature part of Mortal Kombat.
I always judge a great game by how loud players get when they play. You yell at your friends and laugh, and the volume level is a measure of a good game for me.
And like I said, it was just fun and it was happy, and that may be the secret sauce.
Again, when you see people playing the game and they're losing their minds and they're reacting
makes it
to
worth
it,
it, yeah.
there's your fuel.
Yep.
There's your fuel for the next, for the next year to do it. So.
Cool. Who put the K? Oh, this is important. Who put the K in combat? After brainstorming names including Kumite, Deathblow, and Dragon Attack, the name Mortal Kombat was suggested. But who changed the spelling to a K? Who, in all these, even back in the day, you download a bunch of like ROM packs or whatever, and whoever ripped all the games or whatever would always spell Mortal Kombat with a C. Or you buy those bootleg 101 game discs or whatever, and Mortal Kombat will always be spelled with a C because they're stupid and don't know what Mortal Kombat is. Who put the K in there?
In combat.
I did. I put the K in combat. I didn't come up with a name, but the K. This is my story. This is my memory, anyway.
I came up with Mortal,
and the K instead of a C.
Everybody came up with it.
What's gonna happen? We're gonna come up with all the names. We're all gonna like them, and Ed's gonna hate every one of them. Why? DEFCON is overused.
Oh, this is great.
Everywhere. I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, every time you watch War Games.
Ed's probably right behind me, isn't he? Like, oh no, you didn't.
I think there's different stories going on.
Everyone did it.
It's been 30 years.
I said there
We
should
had
be a Q.
A bunch of words written on a grease board.
We didn't have a name, so there was a bunch of possibilities, and one of them was Mortal Kombat.
Combat was written. I don't know if it had.
It
a
looks
K
so
at the time,
weird
but Steve
with a
Ritchie,
C.
He said the words, "What about Mortal Kombat?"
They had combat on their whiteboard, but they were all a lot younger than me, and I'm not sure they ever heard of the phrase "they fought in Mortal Kombat," meaning somebody's gonna die. It is what this game is about. It's Mortal Kombat.
And when he said that, from my perspective, it was like, whoa, there's the name right there.
Ed Boon did it.
Do you remember where the K came from?
Yeah, so what I remember was that. And then I think we went to legal with that name.
Everyone has a different story.
They
That's
said-
amazing.
They came back and said no, because they couldn't trademark it, because it was, I guess, a common term. I remember it was John Vogel
Oh.
who wrote the K.
He says John Vogel, but Steve
in
Ritchie's
fact,
like,
he might have
nah.
done that before that conversation with the legal department.
As a joke, I was in the room with Ed, and as a joke, I changed the C to a K, and we were like laughing. About
That makes sense. I'm pretty funny.
That's so stupid.
That's
and then, so I said, all right, and I was putting it back to a C, and he goes, no, leave it, just leave the K. And so that's my memory as how it happened.
No, it was me because the C was like,
It was me.
just look cooler with the K. That's my thoughts.
And then I think we went back to legal and said, what about if it has a K? And then they went away, and then they came back and said, yes, you can. If you put a K on it, we can trademark it.
Actually, John Vogel's involvement is.
Damn, they're all shitting on Steve Ritchie.
Does ring a bell for me.
I don't think I was enamored with the K. I thought it was goofy.
The guy who
And then when the
mispronounces everyone's
realization
name.
hit that, well, if we change it with a K, we can use Mortal Kombat. It's like, oh, damn it. We're going to give it. Like Vogel was right.
Cool pumpkin
so
shirt.
whether you hate me or love
Like
me for
Halloween.
it, now C's are now K's.
That's cool. That's fun. That's a fun thing. Impaled in the pit, the dev team gave themselves grisly cameos as victims of the pit. Here are the source images and the in-game sprites for John Vogel and John Tobias. Note, Ed Boon's entire corpse stuck to the pillar. Are these like old pictures? This is really high res. What? Did they use AI on this shit? That's a really high resolution. This is not high resolution. Oh, that's wild. These are not also not high resolution. So his head's right there on the middle spike. Wow, Thigh Master really does make a difference. I've lost a lot of pounds of ugly fat and have totally hot something rare girlfriend. I don't know what's going on there. What is this? Rabid Death Bunny? Okay. What are we looking at now? Just more. So that's Ed Boon up there? I had no idea. I always thought it was like a clown. It looked like a mime or something. Who's this guy over there on the left? The sound of Mortal Kombat. Legendary Dan Forden. Discusses inspirations and process for creating the original music and sound effects for Mortal Kombat.
This is the sound area.
What happened?
This is the sound area.
That was weird.
They make all the sounds for the games.
I am an audio director here at NetherRealm.
He's retired now, though, isn't he?
Like, gotta get the voices in.
He retired like recently.
Dan shows you cool stuff every couple of days. He just comes in and you go, great, this is awesome.
And he's a lot like Ed, where I just have this confidence that, he's going to go away and come back with something spectacular.
That's the Johnny Cage Nut Crunch, I believe. Didn't someone make a candy bar, Johnny Cage Nut Crunch bar?
Again,
What?
we didn't know what we were doing, so it's just okay. Okay, it's a fighting game. A lot of yelling, a lot of pain. I don't think we had enough memory to record okay, this is Scorpion's voice, this is Sub-Zero. So we just, like the men, we
They
just mixed and matched. I think Sonya was the only.
They never had individual character voices
female voice for that.
until like MK9, which is something I always hated about Mortal Kombat. Is everyone shared the same voice? It was really annoying.
We just get
When they did it in Mortal Kombat 9, I was like,
talent, which was just
oh
people
crap.
around the studio. It's not like we were hiring people to come in and do this.
We recorded me as the announcer, as Shang Tsung. You know, Liu Kang wins.
That's Ed Boon.
Finish him.
That's great. I didn't know that.
Liu Kang wins. Fatality.
You know, fatality. All of those.
I didn't know
those kind of
that.
Classic sound calls was me because we didn't have somebody with a better voice. Later on, we found Steve Ritchie, who had a much better voice in terms of like an announcer.
Baraka wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I did a terrible Bruce Lee.
Even Liu Kang was Ed Boon.
I think I did a yell for Kano.
Kano wins.
But I was also the voice of Scorpion, you know. Yelling,
Everyone
"Get
knows this
over
part.
here." I had worked with Dan Forden for many years at the time. I remember there was another sound guy who thought that was the stupidest thing in the world. And it kind of was, you know. Why would a ninja, you know, yell, "Get over here"? That's such a like an American.
I mean, that's the whole thing about Mortal Kombat. It's all American. Like Eastern mysticism through a American
The idea was,
lens.
again, the outrageous presentation. We really wanted to have, you know, just yelling and loudness in general into the game.
Is it arcade one-up machine? What is
With
that?
Such silly roots and beginnings. You can't imagine Scorpion not having the "get over here."
True.
Ed would get me, this is back in the days of VHS, right? He would get me a playthrough of the background that I'd be working on. These are the instruments that I have, and look at the background, trying to think of like, well, what makes sense musically for this.
You try to imagine
The music of Mortal Kombat
reaction
is
of
not
playing
really
the
that
game
what
and
it's
what the music's
known
gonna
for.
do to like get you revved up.
Ever since, I don't know, the 70s, early 70s even, but always liked progressive rock a lot. So a friend of mine turned me on to King Crimson in high school, and that's been like a love of mine ever since. And so
Tired.
there's no doubt
Now
there's
it's
a
my
lot
fourth,
of,
third bedtime.
King Crimson
Right?
influence
Yeah,
in the
third.
Mortal Kombat music that I wrote over the years. You know, like the very first tune, it's a melody in a diminished
I have
scale,
Coke Zero here. There's
harmonized
probably
with
not enough
fifths,
caffeine to get
so
me up
that
though.
Sounds like a lot of King Crimson stuff. I think they pretty much liked everything I did. I don't remember doing over too many things. Now and then there would be like, you know, maybe you should try this instead of that, and some sort of corrective feedback. But for the most part, it's just we were just kind of making it up as we went along.
Nino Skeeto. Enjoy your retirement, Dan Forden. The first public test, when a prototype game was put in the real arcade for a critical playtest, developers got to see real world reactions to all their hard work, both good and bad. This does not look like the first public test.
Testing a game was always one of the most fun parts of the job.
Who are these guys?
In the earliest days of Mortal Kombat development, the only place you could play the game was in Ed's office. I would play the game every day. Ed would call me in to try something out, but other people, you know, would walk by Ed's office and see what he was working on and come in and play the game.
It was contemplative.
Very valuable feedback.
That piece.
because That feedback was coming from guys like Eugene and Mark Trammell and George Petro and, you know, a lot of the other developers in the office at the time. Eventually, we would put a game out in the hallway for anybody to play.
Where is this at?
We'd get pinball designers would come down and play the game. There were folks who worked in the factory would come back and they would play the game. And so we'd watch folks kind of play the game, and we'd take notes on sort of, you know, what the reactions were.
It looks like a subway or something. I don't know. I guess not. Oh, MK1 poster in that. There's probably another round then. Fishtails. I want to see fishtails. What's fishtails?
Part of determining what's working and what doesn't work.
Being on test is like one of the best parts, one of the most exciting parts of doing an arcade game.
Our first location test was a weekend test that we did, and that was done at an arcade called Times Square. It was a Friday night, so it was packed. The arcade was packed. And there was a crowd around the Street Fighter game. Street Fighter 2 was out at the time. And I just thought, there's no way these guys are coming over to play our game.
Is this footage, the actual playtest?
Like this big event, the whole video game department would go, no matter whose game it was.
You'd roll a blank black cabinet into an arcade and just turn it on.
When we brought the first Mortal Kombat game out on test, there were 6 characters. We didn't have Sonya yet. A whole bunch of things just weren't working. And it was all about just kind of the fundamentals, the feel of it, the reaction to the visual, the reaction to blood.
And bummer they didn't get actual footage of this.
That rush, that reverie, or that destruction and devastation if something doesn't work out, you know, like, it's like, oh, we got to fix that, you know, and it hurts, you know, it feels bad.
I remember watching the first player. He was one of the guys from the crowd walking over and looking at the attract mode and then dropping a token in and playing the game. And then I remember he walked over, tapped, fell on the shoulder, you know, called him over, and then the other guy came over, and then they played the game. And then slowly people migrated over.
Whenever you would see a secret move come out, I remember the first
Secret
time I
move.
saw Raiden do the dive move, you know, you
Back and
hear
forward.
an audible, you know,
Torpedo.
cheering or gasp, or, you know, how did you do that?
This is kind of silly. These modern
Easily the most enjoyable
clips.
part for me was seeing and hearing reactions from players.
Feels
And at some
fake,
point, Ed, I think, went in
which it
and
probably
did
is,
a
but still.
fatality. Kind of a thing, and then he walked away. You know, like, now it's a big frenzy to figure out, like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And that's how people found out about the fatalities, assuming my memory is correct. But I believe that's how it happened.
We would never perform fatalities in front of people because then someone's going to see you do it, right? Like, we wanted to launch the game and have people discover it naturally and organically.
Are they actually going to do it? No, it's not even the fatality round.
The first Mortal Kombat, there was a certain amount of anonymity, I guess you can say. Like, we could be in an arcade watching with a crowd of other people and be close
Trying to
enough
buy, just
engaged
look at the camera.
that we just kind of blend in. You know, what is this new game? And then you would get a candid response. Once you tell them that you worked on the game, then you know, they're not going to say anything negative about it.
True.
Across the street from Times Square was a pizza place. And so we would go across the street, get some pizza, and we would discuss, you know, everything that we saw, what was cool, what was not cool, or, you know, what should we change? You know, hey, that was cool. And it was so much fun.
Seeing that first
I want to hear
game on
specifics.
test was so reaffirming that we had something big. I saw players get so excited they just had to run. They just had to run around like in circles.
So we added a run to Mortal Kombat 3.
By the end of that night, we had a pack of players around our game, hooting and hollering and just having a great time.
That's a big old TV on that cabinet.
Players that we saw first see the game on a Friday, we saw them the entire weekend.
And I think at that point I thought, okay, we're gonna be okay.
Smile. Aw, now I want to hear what the actual feedback was. Take out the block button. Lieutenant and Blade reporting for duty. An April location test with a work-in-progress build of the game featured just 6 characters. After seeing players react, the team realized they wanted to add another to the roster. The team that added Sonya will be working Strikers, but oh, Striker became Sonya. Interesting. Boone and Tobias. Ed Boone's and John Tobias. I think there should be an apostrophe S there. Whatever. John Tobias' skills complement each other extremely well. Both men, as well as team members, explain why they think they made such an effective pair.
This was our first game that we were doing kind
That's
of
from the
as
movie.
The leaders of the games. You know, Mark Trammell was the kind of leader of the Smash TV team, and Eugene was kind of the leader of the High Impact team, along with John Newcomer. And so this was kind of like our first solo project.
I think they have complementary skill sets.
We're symbiotic in a way. Certainly in the first few games, it was just like we just knew what the other person was looking for. And I don't know that we ever, I mean, if we had an argument, it certainly wasn't about the work that we were doing. We just seemed to know what the other person was looking for.
They worked well because they trusted each other's talents enough to say, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. Ed took care of all the programming. John took care of all the art.
They just had this unsaid, hey, you know, it'd be fun. Yeah, that's awesome.
Your cool ass move.
Working with Ed, one of his great strengths were just his focus, I think, and his ability to just grind and get things done. Ed, who was the sole programmer to create that game, in hindsight, was incredible.
For one programmer to do all those games is pretty amazing. And
his door is always open. He wants to hear new ideas. He's dangerously funny, where it just busts me up at least once a day.
He would just crack us up all the time, just his jokes, and he made it easy to work the long hours.
John is a really good storyteller. John has a history as a comic book artist. So I think that probably contributed to his ability to tell a compact story. The only story we had was a little paragraph that would play underneath the character doing a kata. But that was enough to really intrigue players.
You really gave a shit about it?
You don't look
Because of the
Japanese.
backstory. Because about the whole mythology that John Tobias had created. You know, maybe not unlike WWF or something.
Kinda.
Almost like Star Wars in martial arts.
The first game truly was like an expression of just who we were at the time. You know, we were in our early 20s. The stuff that we consumed growing up as kids, and we just threw it all.
I mean,
in the
that's
game. There
how
was
modern
nobody
games
telling
work too,
us
right?
What to do, how to do it.
I think it was a great partnership, and I think, you know, what can you say? Success beyond belief.
That was the final word on it. See where she's like, yeah, they're cool. The cutting room floor. During development, animations or character moves might be removed for design flaw or memory reasons. For instance, trimming the wind-up moves for several attacks sped up gameplay. These reanimated frames of cut content offer a look at what might have been. Oh, it's just... Oh, we can actually see this shit? That's cool. That's a fatality they didn't use. That's wild. Okay. We videotaped each actor doing an intro move for the characters, but I believe only prepped Cage's sprites. We cut the content to save memory. Which is interesting, because they would later innovate with character introductions and MKX. You know, fighting games always had, you know, the... Was it MKX? Where they had like interactive, where the characters would talk to each other. Maybe it was MK11. No, I think it was MKX, where the characters would actually talk. No, it was Injustice actually, where they did the clash system where the characters would talk to each other. But interesting. This was an attempt at doing a front flip kick. I vaguely remember not being satisfied with the animation. Yeah, it looks pretty shitty. The name is Grim. Johnny Cage's character was called Michael Grim earlier, so a health bar with that name was created during testing. Yes, that is the word Grim. Goro's death blow. While Goro does not have fatality in the final game, one was animated showing the Shokan prince crushing the skull of his opponent and one body with one mighty hand. Oh, that's pretty funny. Goro turned stone. Upon his defeat, Goro was intended to turn to stone and explode. Although the sprite was created, team members do not recall it being input into the game. Yeah. Man, you put all that work into Stone Goro and you couldn't even use it, except until now in 2025? Wind up. Several of the Mortal Kombat characters' signature hidden moves originally featured several more frames of animation that eventually made it into the final game. Often these extra frames were used for big flashy wind-ups that preceded projectiles. These were cut to both save on memory and speed up the moves in game. Yeah, that'll be really annoying. I think MK4 has some wind-up moves, but I guess it's not that long. That would have been so annoying to do this. Just have to wait for this crap. That looks terrible. I guess they, they're gonna add like effects to it. Interesting. Animated observers. Memory limitations prevented the tournament's guards from turning their heads and shifting their pikes between hands. Similarly, the monks who applaud politely at the end of the match almost raise their arms to cheer. That's just crazy. Seeing the guards move around is wild. That's even more insane. This is so cool. I wonder if these sprites were available like before this came out. Like, oh, you make the font. A Mortal Kombat signature red font was only seen in game for a few words, like finish him. John Vogel actually drew every character in the font. Here for the first time, the attacker said, "Get on it. Bring the fatality font out." That's cool. That's so cool. The big sales pitch. Before Mortal Kombat can prove itself to players, the machines have to be sold to arcade operators. This promotional video for arcade trade shows sells the game strength, pointing out that blood and fatalities could be disabled. Oh, it's so cool. It's all in the right sound channel. It's only my right earball.
Fighting games
Oh.
have proven themselves to be strong
This is
collections
weird
suitable
stereo.
for a wide range of locations.
The narrator is in the left ear and the gameplay's in the right
attractive
ear.
elements of the
That's
arcade
crazy.
Experience. Characters endowed with mythic powers, full player control, secret moves, and the kind of
Secret moves
unbridled
is crazy.
head-to-head competition that compels repeat buy-in. Now from Midway comes Mortal Kombat. It captures the most popular elements of the fighting game and adds more.
The movement of those
control,
people on the
more
cabinet.
powerful characters,
It's crazy.
More depth, more secret moves, and advanced digitized graphics, delivering the most realistic fighting action available. Begin Mortal Kombat by choosing one of 7 characters, each boasting an arsenal of unique talents.
Talents.
There's Johnny Cage, the brash
Michael Grimm.
Hollywood movie star. Kano, thief and mercenary. Raiden, the mythical thunder god. Liu Kang, the fighting Shaolin monk.
Sholin.
Scorpion, a ninja warrior bent on revenge. Sub-Zero, the ultimate assassin. And Sonya, U.S. Special Forces soldier. Each player has 5 basic
This is
moves corresponding
crazy.
to the 5 action
Oh,
buttons.
this is wild.
High punch. High kick. Low punch. Low kick. And a block. In addition to these moves, players will continue to discover new joystick button combinations. Each new technique provides another competitive edge.
That's a throw.
For example, moving the joystick away from your opponent while pressing the low kick button will result in this sweep kick.
Sweep.
Moving the joystick straight down will put the player in a crouch. By then releasing the joystick and pressing low punch, you'll administer a devastating uppercut.
I forgot low punch should also do uppercut in this game.
Secret moves play a big part
Secret
in the success
moves.
of any fighting game. Collections soar as players strive to develop a character's full fighting potential. Mortal Kombat
Cannonball.
has several times more secret moves than the nearest competitor.
How do people figure this
The
shit
button
out?
Joystick combinations required to execute these moves are different for each character, as are the moves themselves. And each character's arsenal of secret moves offers unique tactical advantages. If you learn one of Sonya's secret moves, you'll be able to perform this devastating scissor throw.
Whoa, transition.
Activate Raiden's secret weapon lets you fire lightning bolts at your opponents.
Raiden wins.
Victory is achieved by winning 2 out of 3 rounds. Players losing a match will have to buy in to continue.
This type of media is so fascinating. You don't typically see this stuff. It's not in the, it's in the marketing, but not for the player.
Finally, winning 3 matches against
It's like kind of like those training videos or whatever that businesses have to train their employees. Not really, but kind of.
half human, half dragon.
I hate that move.
Should Goro be subdued, you'll engage the most deceptive and powerful opponent of all, Shang Tsung, the bloodthirsty emperor capable of instantly becoming any fighter he chooses. Conquer Shang Tsung, and you will have joined unfrequented ranks.
I don't know why they renamed him to
Battle
Shang
all
Tsung.
adversaries, yet survived. Every 5 matches during both 1- and 2-player games, you'll have a chance to test your strength and win bonus points by
Bonus
smashing
points.
progressively harder objects.
It wouldn't come back again until MK9, right? Maybe Deception had it?
Allows true head-to-head combat.
Maybe Deadly Alliance had it
Players
too.
must rely on their fighting abilities, as well as a knowledge of their character's strengths, as they are matched against an opponent with different but equally lethal abilities. Each player selects a character and the match begins.
There's Santa Claus right there.
Losing the best of 3 match will have the option of buying in to continue. The winning player will continue to play as long as he maintains a string of victories. Loser pays, winner stays.
Man, I never had an arcade scene because I couldn't. Oh, the
From a technical
Switch
standpoint,
seats.
Operators will find even more to like. Mortal Kombat employs Midway's exclusive diagnostic package and a sensitive yet durable 8-way micro-switch joystick.
Whoa.
In addition, operators will want to be aware of a dip switch setting we've included, allowing them to temper the game to fit the requirements of a location.
No low blows is
simply
crazy.
flipping a switch
You could
on the
turn off
CPU
the nut
board,
punch?
You're able to remove any depictions of blood that would otherwise appear in the game.
That would suck if you were trying to do nut punch, but you didn't know it was disabled by
Another
the.
dip switch will disable the most graphic secret moves. In
Like
this
disabled
way,
it totally?
Operators can be sure they're matching the game to the disposition of their clientele.
What does that mean, disable them? You won't be able to do spear at all? That's again, that's crazy.
Mortal Kombat is quite simply the most.
I'm sure. I wonder if any
fighting game
arcade operators actually use those
boasts
options.
The industry's most realistic graphics.
That's
digitized
what it was
images
known
of
for, was the
real martial
violence.
arts experts. Heroic characters more powerful than those found on any other fighting game.
I don't know if that's
Secret
true.
moves to learn and master. And fierce battles against titanic adversaries. All of these elements combine to make this game powerfully unique. The world's most advanced interactive fighting experience.
Now the game audio comes to the left channel. That was fascinating. Is there more? Oh, 1992. Mortal Kombat version 1.0. Following several rapid internal prototypes, the earliest public version of Mortal Kombat began shipping August 92, finding its way into local arcades in the months that followed. Players learned moves through experimentation, making knowledge of secret social currency. That's Mortal Kombat. Oh, they are down. I'm missing stuff by not going down on these things. Oh, shoot. Hey, what up, Johnny Cat? Yeah, this is Mortal Kombat. We're reading. I've been missing all this stuff by not pressing down. This is crazy. I don't actually want to read all this, though. It's cool that it's here. Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat. What else did I miss by not pressing down? Saw that already. Oh, Sonya stuff. Oh, cool. I can't believe I almost missed this shit.
Where she, you like how, well, you probably in the back. You just do the hand
Or like, what are you making me do? What are you guys making me do?
Let's try it one more time and just step up a little bit, just in case I need anything before, just in case.
Start a little bit further up.
Can you start on the mat?
Okay, now once from the middle, act like you're just getting into it. You even have to. This is so we can do the beginning part.
She should do it from the stance.
Right, from your stance.
Get like in your stance and just act like you're getting into it. Actually, she should step up.
Move to the middle, like where you're.
Okay, that's good.
To adjust the costume.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good move.
That's gonna be a good move. She's like, what is a move? I don't understand. Like, okay, guys, whatever. Moves. What else did I miss? No more Dan. There's no Dan arrows. They didn't train me about Dan arrows. Oh, wow. Scorpion's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Cold guy. Scorpion's like, oh. Cold guy, what are they talking about?
We'll do that one stance you just did, and we need one slightly different. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the yellow of your palette and have another ninja. And what we're going to have two different stances. One ninja's going to have one, the other's going to have another. But you're going to use...
So did this guy come up with that dumb Sub-Zero stance with his hand in front of his chest? I always thought it was a stupid animation. Scorpion's made sense because it's like a scorpion tail. But if the guy's just like, oh, I guess I'll just put my hand up here. Then... Oh, did John come up? Okay.
A little slower, yeah. Okay. That's good. I should be able to get some of that. And then let's do the second one.
That one, that looks a little stupid. That's stupid. That one's a little bit better. Not stupid. So I guess he's probably being instructed about that stupid look. He looks like he's about to dance.
More like this. Right. Okay, that's good.
That looks better.
Yeah, keep it open. Keep it open.
Okay, that looks stupid. That looks stupid. That's dumb. It's not even, it's just making, I mean, obviously it's making stuff up, but that's still very funny. Oh, and demonstrating his vision of Raiden's flying torpedo attack. Carlos Pesina, huh? He's been there forever, right? That's pretty cool. What else I missed? Oh, here's the Goro model. Whoa. It's all green. The two stop-motion Goro maquettes were created in case of Paris Pharaohs needed. In 2013, artist John Vogel photographed the Goro models for posterity, noting where the foam has started to deteriorate with age. One of the two Goro maquettes remains on display in the lobby of NetherRealm Studios. Oh, here's more stuff. Damn. That's Liu Kang. That's crazy looking. Some characters would not appear until later games. Kitsune would become, or Kitsune, according to John Tobias, Kitsune would become Kitana MK2, while elements of Striker would inform both Sonya and Jax. A different form of Striker would appear in Mortal Kombat 3. Non-playable? Betrays Lao when she falls for Kang. Xiang Lao's princess daughter. Palette swap for two ninjas. Hunter. Hunted or one that's running for them. Maybe a rival clan's revenge story. Curtis Striker. Oh. Oh, it's just a thing. Early on, Jean-Claude Van Damme was approached to star in War doing Jedi fighting game. The deal never came together, and the team moved on with their own original characters storyline. The team that wasn't. It wasn't going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme's Universal Soldier or any other films, just Jean-Claude Van Damme, based on the skill set that he had. I reached out to see if there was interest. It wasn't a no. I don't think there was ever that kind of resolution. What would have been if that happened? He has a Mario hat. That's crazy. On a skull. What did that mean? He hated Nintendo. This could have been way worse. There may never be a Mortal Kombat franchise. If, well, what the fuck? I've never played this game before. If Jean-Claude Van Damme said yes. Whoa. It came from Jay's garage. Who the hell is that? The Digitizer, Warren Davis. Kubert. The Builder. Todd View Debugger. Dark. Pinball Wizard. Alright, let's go back to where we were. Where we left off before we discovered about Down. So real it hurts. The original promotion flyer for Mortal Kombat featuring Josh, Zach, and Zach Sharp, the sons of Williams marketing maven Roger Sharp. Today, the two are highly ranked competitive pinball players. Very interesting. Can I zoom in? Yeah. It had to use AI upscaling on this, right? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Cool. A name of Alliance, a Mortal Kombat marquee, originally backlit and displayed at the top of the arcade cabinet. Later signed by Boone and Tobias. Cool. The power of secrets. There's no way anybody's ever going to figure this out. John Tobias saw it when he saw the requirements to pull off fatalities. But not only did fans quickly discover without spending secrets, they started creating their own. Oh, right. Hey, it's Jeff.
At that era, kind of all had this level of secrecy to them. Mortal Kombat, I think, took that to a very extreme level.
You had to guess like the moves.
Cliffy B.
I think Street Fighter did something like that, right? They didn't document any of the moves, so we
Is that
took
true?
the same approach.
I think not having a move list, there was so
I have no
much to
idea who this
explore.
Doc Mac
I had
is.
no idea of what you were still missing. It was another thing. It built up so much mystique to the game.
But then we kind of extended it, right, with the fatalities and whatnots. Especially at the end with the character Dizzy, there was a certain amount of, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, good one.
Trying to trigger something else. They knew that there was something secret in there.
The announcer's like, finish him. And you go up and go, boom. And you're like, damn it. I screwed up the fatality. It's like the worst feeling in the world.
And, you know, everyone was playing as Kano because in the early days before people, you know, knew what most of the moves were, Kano's moves were just, I don't know, move the joystick in a circle real fast and he'll turn into a ball and do it, or hit block and mash the buttons. I don't know.
I like how Jeff has an actual recording set up because he's a
The
podcaster.
first character I played was Kano, and I found.
And
the
Cliffy B has just
ball
like
attack
a blue Yeti in a empty room or
and
whatever.
the first day I found the fatality too.
I only know Sub-Zero's fatality.
I was finding stuff right away.
Forward down, forward high punch.
Being in your office,
Close range.
And I remember you showing me what the button combinations were, and then you have to be standing this far away from the other character. And I remember thinking to myself, there's no way anybody's going to figure this out. We're never going to, no one's ever going to do this. And literally, like the first weekend, they figured it out right away. Yeah.
You know, the fatalities and special moves and things like those were things that you kind of had to trade around.
Because you'd hear people chattering.
What is this?
Oh,
This is stupid. I hate this
and not having the internet
fucking
time to go to.
staged
It
footage.
made it very social.
If you knew something that wasn't, you know, widespread knowledge, you could take that down to the arcade and pull it out on somebody and really blow some mind.
So a lot of hand watching. Where did you stand? The most premium spots.
Khalif
are
Adams.
literally
Who's that?
behind it, like right between two people.
I wish they'd leave the
or on
name
corner,
marquee thing up
because those are the only
longer.
spots where you were able to see the screen and people's hands at the same time.
There was so much in there, and it really requires a fan base to come together and share, to work together to play them and solve them and uncover the secrets and all that stuff.
the double head fatality is
I was
great.
obsessed with those kinds of things. I was a big fan of Street Fighter, and there was this rumor that was not true that there was a character in there called Sheng Long. And I remember when we had started this game thinking, we have to have a real
Reptile.
character. So there was a Sunday, and Scorpion was yellow, Sub-Zero was blue, and I went into the art program and tinted him green, made up these crazy rules in terms of how to find him, made him jump out occasionally and kind of tease you with his existence, put it together in one day, didn't even tell
He didn't tell anyone about it.
Just kind of wondering how many people are going to pick up on this.
Baboon's a troll.
It became a bit of like a Bigfoot. Some people had sightings and some people didn't, because there was this one that was real and was rather difficult to find. It could give players a little bit of creative license to come up with something and say that they did see something else happening in the game.
Man, the arcade culture is. I'm sad I never got to see that yet stuff.
Happened in those first few Mortal Kombat games kind of corresponds with the rise of the internet, and people started trading around like, hey, here's a list of I
Who wrote
think these
this
are
fact?
fatalities.
I remember going home to my dad's house, and he had
Patrick
internet,
McMarron.
and I started just learning as much as I could.
Forums that move into concepts more total. Oh, hey.
And I'm like, Dad, can I go back to the arcade? I want to try some of this stuff.
I made it my mission to test all that stuff out, and that became my calling. We need to investigate.
And I published.
So
my
it was
first
his
fact,
fact.
and it is the most inaccurate piece of junk that is available. It's like shameful, but it's where I started.
And then, all these urban legends about Ermac and all these other alleged characters that...
This is stuff I loved at Mortal
kids used to
Kombat.
say back in the day, the negative worlds in Mario Brothers and Mario could go skiing. It's that kind of the kid equivalent of water cooler conversations.
People would come up with lore, lies
right.
of,
That's
of,
right.
I did this and that happened, and everybody's, and we just shut up.
A friend of mine in high school said he was cousins with someone who filmed for the game, and that there was a secret character that they had filmed. So I put it in my fact, and I trusted him.
That's
and
so
found out
funny.
Way later, he was just messing with me.
The people feeding in things that they'd
Why does this guy
wanna
have
see in the
fingerless
game
gloves?
Kind of blend in with what was really there.
Super kick.
Sometimes you'd see a move and then it was gone. You'd be like, I swear this was in there. Did that really happen? There was no way to capture it.
A friend of mine, his little brother was playing the game and told me about Kano's laser beam.
He didn't have a laser beam.
And I remember telling my friend's younger brother, there's no laser beam. He's like, no, I
Not until
saw it."
3.
And so I know he's mistaken with what, I don't know what he saw, but he didn't see that. This mythology was being built by the player base. I think we understood that pretty early on, and Ed, more than anybody, I think really took advantage of that and kind of messed with the players with hiding stuff in the game.
Yeah, I remember somebody found one of Sonya's moves, and I foolishly changed it because I read it.
I remember hearing about this.
Thinking, I got the best of that.
And they did some devious things to keep a lot of those things secret. I think there was a revision of Mortal Kombat 2 where they just arbitrarily changed all the fatalities because everyone figured them out too fast. And it's
So
maybe
stupid.
the most devious and mean thing they've ever done.
I remember thinking at that point, this internet thing has gotten. You can't beat it. You can't defeat it.
You cannot defeat the internet, unfortunately.
One of the
Yes.
fun things about going to an arcade was, a lot of people didn't have the internet just yet. So people would show up with their copy of their FAQ. Once I was there and I saw someone with my guide, like my FAQ, and I was like, oh, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, the guy who wrote it sold it to me. And I was like, what do you mean sold it to you?
That's crazy.
I wrote
That
it.
sucks.
We had a Mortal Kombat comic book that John drew.
I want to read this. I never read it.
envelopes, and we started writing messages to players. Sonia has a slide move, you know. She didn't have a slide move. Within a week, I was at
This is lying.
or something arcade, and some guy was playing Sonia. Just keep trying these things, and one of the guys said, "You know, what are you looking for?" And he goes, "I'm looking for Sonia's slide move." You know.
It's crazy.
Poor guy was, you know, looking for it, but we were just.
Yep.
We were just adding
Fucking
fuel to that fire.
troll.
Most of those secrets went
Andrea,
unknown to me until much later
Renee.
in life when walkthroughs on YouTube became a thing, and I was like, "Whoa, I totally missed a lot of stuff in a lot of games."
So to us, secrets were basically really
Ketchup and mustard.
the most
Love those
important
guys.
for us. Having more to do with the game, having more to discover, more to enjoy.
We love the idea of, you know, just this question mark over the game. You know, what else is in there that nobody else has found, and it just made the game that much more mysterious, right?
That's so fun. The yellow and blue make green. When the random thought hit Ed Boon while grabbing fast food shortly after MK's release, he added a secret ninja enemy, reptile that combined the powers of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, then waiting for players and his coworkers to notice. Fatality is the key. Cryptic clues. A reptile was added to the 3.0 revision in late August. Players weren't offered clues on how to find him until a 4.0 chipset at the end of September. The green ninja would briefly and randomly appear before niches, accompanied by cryptic messages like "Perfection is key" and "Look to La Luna." 10 million points if you destroy me. Players must meet very specific conditions in order to battle Reptile. In a one-player game, win 2 rounds on the pit without using block, finishing with a double flawless victory and their character's fatality. Additionally, a silhouette must fly across the moon at some point during the fight. If all those conditions were met, Reptile appears at the bottom of the pit, borrowing Sub-Zero Scorpion's health bar. Reptile uses the moves of both Scorpion and Sub-Zero and moves at double speed. If the player can defeat Reptile, they're interesting. So that's why Reptile has that like dash move or whatever, because in the original he had high super fast speed, I guess. The character who wasn't. This is a fun story. A contraction of error macros. The max counter in the game's operator menu helped Midway track bugs. However, its proximity to the line that tracked Reptile encounters led secret obsessed players to believe Ermac was another hidden character. While he would later become a real character, he was nothing but a rumor in the first Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that's so funny that people thought Ermac was a real character. And then Ermac, is that you? No, because Ermac didn't exist. However, this red colored ninja was created during the Mortal Kombat development as a palette swap experiment. And so, like, in Ermac's backstory, he is an amalgamation of a million different souls, which is commentary on the fact that he was created by a bunch of fans who thought he was real. I love stuff like that. That's another reason why I freaking love Mortal Kombat, because incorporating fan theories into reality. Same with Blaze from Mortal Kombat 2, or Torch as the fans called him. Oh, I just play the game, that's it, at the end. The definitive version of Mortal Kombat on its original Y unit hardware, the same system that powered Smash TV and high-impact football, starting to arrive in arcades in 1992, about 6 or 7 weeks after the first public version. Oh yeah, it's like a 3D rendering of the cabinet. This one still have, what the hell? This one doesn't have Johnny Cage on it? I don't know. Looks weird. Maybe it's just in that ad. Let's hit play and see what it looks like. Oh, you just go straight into the menu. See, Johnny Cage is on the side of this. I wait, they took him out because it's that guy that they hate. Alright. Mortal Kombat was an arcade smash hit. Wait, why is this one not highlighted? I did this one.
Fighting games.
I played this one already. Why is it not? I have to look at all the fucking photos. And now it's lit up. Mortal Kombat was an arcade smash, but when it entered living rooms, it would give you more notoriety and no small amount of controversy. Cool. Oh, it's a whole new chapter. Chapter 2. Mortal Mania. Fans couldn't get enough of Midway's taboo-breaking new game, and the arrival of home versions meant that the rest of the game industry now had to grapple with Mortal Kombat's success. See, all these nerds freaking don't give a shit about, all these anime nerds don't care about Mortal Kombat despite it shaping the video game industry. It's crazy. Have you seen this game? With its mysterious moves and buckets of blood, Mortal Kombat quickly became the game everyone had to play to believe. Mortal Kombat and Night Trap.
So when Street Fighter 2 came out, I wasn't really too impressed by it. I think I finished it once, picked Zangief because I was a wrestling fan, and then moved on.
That was like
Kind
Jeff.
of fell in with a crowd that really got a lot out of Street Fighter 2, and so suddenly became very apparent I need to get great at that game. One guy showed up and said, "Hey, have you heard of this other game, Mortal Kombat?" I'm like, no. What is Mortal Kombat? And he said, "Well, you know, it's like Street Fighter, but you can fucking kill people." Okay, well, we need to go see this game right now.
I love that phrase. It's like Street Fighter, but you can fucking kill people. It should have been on the box.
I absolutely remember the first time I played Mortal Kombat. It was at Lions Family Fun.
Oh, he owns Galloping Ghost Arcade, I see.
My dad would usually give my brother
David
$5
Craddock.
each and let us run wild while he went shopping.
I was at an arcade in Virginia.
The Q Lounge in the
Spawn
Bronx,
on
New
me.
York. It was a space that was half smoky pool hall, half arcade.
He took us to an arcade 2 towns north, up to Santa Rosa. There was a place called Systems City. And it was like part skate shop, but in the back room, all the lights were off, and they had like 5 arcade machines back there.
I see this huge crowd gathered around a new cabinet.
And it was sitting there. There was nobody around it.
No one
Like a ghost story.
was just sitting there.
Is that why it's called Galloping Ghost?
I just remember just like a big line around the cabinet.
Everyone is crowded around Mortal Kombat. It is simultaneously exactly like and nothing like Street Fighter. You know, the filmed presentation, the real actors and actresses and all of that really just, it's so striking.
In Mortal Kombat, when you're seeing those 2 big characters on the screen,
Jeff should get a better
I just think
camera.
this is the coolest
Also,
thing
David
ever.
Jaffe, what?
Instantly,
Weird.
it's like, oh, it's digitized. It's real people. It was like, wow, this is incredible. It's like, how are they doing this? How did this game come to be?
I was blown away by how it looked.
Because it was a violent, bloody game.
Like, that's the first time I'd seen blood in a video game that I remembered.
Even from a basic high punch, you just see blood flying out of these people's...
Oh, I also like that Jeff is wearing a mystery wrestling shirt. That's Evil Uno's wrestling promotion.
If I couldn't do the
That's fun.
specials of certain characters, I could fall into a rhythm that just felt so good. Just like, you know, air kick, uppercut. And I was, oh, I feel like the baddest motherfucker in the world.
No, nice.
In a time when
Corner
you didn't
combo.
see that kind of stuff in games and especially in arcades where kids were, you know, running around with their parents, and parents were still freaking out too, kind of seeing what was happening.
My dad came up behind me. I didn't know this at the time, but the screen went dark. Kano ripped out a heart and held it up, blood dripping from it. And my dad went, "Oh, no, 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 no," and whisked me out of the arcade. And that's when I knew I had to play that game because I was not allowed to play that game.
People getting chopped in half and torsos being dismembered.
Liu Kang doesn't kill people. There he is, sitting in the
I
pit.
didn't know you could do that in a video game.
I didn't know you can kill
didn't
people.
know that was allowed in a video game.
And we're, you know, 16, 17 at the time, so this is the most exciting thing in the world.
Sub-Zero looks like, wait a minute.
Even though Street Fighter, they had an ending, but Mortal Kombat was like the first thing that really affected me that was like, I really want to play all these characters to see what happens. And this is before YouTube, so it wasn't like you could just...
Look, Cesaro.
watch it, you had to, you know, earn it, right?
What's Kano's backstory? You know, what about Sonya? That's what we wanted to know about. And, you know, they specified a lot of it kind of in...
What is this room that Cliffy B's in? Is that the Black Lodge? With shower curtains?
Literally everywhere. Every single pizza place, 7-Eleven, arcades, the arcades that were left at that point, all of them had a Mortal Kombat machine probably within a month.
Have you seen this game? It's like Street Fighter where you can fucking kill people. Gaming before the internet. What's that? While the internet existed in 92, much of it was text only and most people didn't yet have access to it. Most Mortal Kombat players operated on a local level. Handwritten move lists were often brought to the arcades, where knowledge of finishing moves became social currency. Ooh, the comic book. Can I read the whole thing here? Probably not. Between coin drops, the attract mode of Mortal Kombat advertised a comic book drawn by John Tobias, which was only available via mail order. Thousands were sold and making the first item in what would become a long list of Mortal Kombat merchandise. Who's gonna mail these things? John Tobias and Roger Sharp recalled the creation of Mortal Kombat promotional comic. How its surprise success led to impromptu pizza parties. What does
The
that mean?
idea to produce a comic book for the first MK game, that started with me. Coming from comic books, I had a great desire to sort of tell this story that we weren't able to tell in the game. And so I thought, what better place to do it in a comic book? I talked
$3.
to Ed about it, and so Ed thought it was a great idea, and I think the both of us went to Roger Sharp to try to see if there was any money that we could get from marketing to help us produce this comic book.
I tried to always do stuff that I thought would be special, and John, pulled together, there's a comic book.
Cool.
I wasn't getting paid anything extra to draw this comic, so I wrote the story and
Damn, free work for you.
did the illustrations. Roger was able to scrape up, I think, a few $1,000s for the printing, and we were able to produce a few thousand copies of this comic, and we weren't sure how many we were going to sell. There was an advertisement in the game, and players would see the advertisement in the track mode, and they would mail in a check for $3. Sometimes they would mail cash. Ed and I would get bags of envelopes, sent to a P.O. box, and they would ship us these boxes of comics. Okay, well, who's gonna pack and mail these things? And so there was nobody to do that. So Ed and I.
Wow.
ended up
And it's like,
sitting in
oh,
his
I never
office
should have
with
agreed to this.
boxes of comics. We were the ones opening each envelope, collecting the money, writing the addresses on the envelopes, packing the comics, and mailing them all out. I remember we did that one week.
Whose address is that?
And then we decided we invited other people around the office, like, hey, come
Oh,
and help
that's a
us
pizza
pack the
party. I
comics,
see.
and we'll buy a pizza. Every once in a while, I would
Man,
sign
I wish I
on.
had ordered a
We would
comic. I
write
could have
these
gotten.
weird encryptions on the envelopes. Sometimes I would draw a picture on the envelope.
That's
little
fun.
Messages to the players. I don't know if anybody ever saved any of that stuff. But eventually, I think we were in over our heads because the stuff just kept coming.
And sales took off. We had to go back in and reprint the comic book.
And then eventually Roger, I think, handled, I don't know who he paid to
Yeah,
do
I was about to say.
packing and the mailing and stuff.
We were packaging and boxing up. Thank you, Jeanette and Alice, to get everything out to people.
But the first, I think, few thousand comic books were hand packed and hand addressed by, Ed and myself and a couple of the other folks around the office.
Didn't have a printer?
And
Damn.
that was the start of the merchandising.
Did you get a sweater? What is that, shirt?
For Mortal Kombat.
$11. Oh my gosh. I never did any mail order stuff when I was a kid. From game to comic, some of Tobias's sketches, pencils, and color studies for the promotional comic book. An uncut sheet of the finished printed pages now hangs in a frame in the hallway at NetherRealm Studios. Cool. Can they ever reprint the comic for modern merchandising? How do I get this comic book? eBay? The 16-bit wars. While Nintendo had dominated the 8-bit era of the NES, rival Sega had taken away significant market share from Nintendo during the 16-bit days, in part because it was more permissive in regards to content of games that appeared on the platform. This would have a significant effect on the home versions of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Monday. New York-based Acclaim Entertainment confirmed its home versions of Mortal Kombat in June 1993 at the Summer Consumer Electronics Show, promising a September 13 release of the both 16-bit consoles as well as major handheld systems. Nintendo's Game Boy and Sega's Game Gear Acclaim branded the release event Mortal Monday. I don't want to read the fucking press release. Countdown sweepstakes. Ooh, maybe I do. As part of the big lead up to Mortal Monday, Acclaim announced a Mortal Kombat Countdown sweepstakes, which would award an arcade version of Mortal Kombat to one lucky winner who answered 5 questions by the contest deadline. People calling them Combat Confidential. Weird. The Pit. Acclaim produced a free newsletter called The Pit, which gave eager Mortal Kombat fans character bios, some photos from that year's CES at the end of the opening statement at the front page, a mysterious code Abacab with no further context. Is this how people learn about the blood code? That's pretty fun. Where's the Abacab? Prepare yourself. Ooh, what is this? An interview with the creators of the creator should be with a K. Is this stuff we don't know about? Ed owns both a Super NES and a Genesis. He's into the games he worked on. John's like, I also have video games. Why is the game so realistic? How was Goro created? Who did the comic book? Will there be a Mortal Kombat 2? Probably. That's funny. What's up with this? 10 Mortal Kombat questions. Oh, and a FAQ. Super NES been the competition edition, tournament edition with mode A. Hell's mode A? What is this crap? Did the Super Nintendo version have a handicap system? I don't remember that. Hand to hand with that with special moves. No, this isn't real. Is this real? Will the graphics be intense? No. Is a special controller being planned? What arcade sticks? Will you be able to control Goro and Shang Tsung? No word yet, but I've tapped the producer on his phone. No. When will it be available on CD systems? Haha. Will I have Reptile? Slamming and jamming with Reptile? That's a great phrase. The pit scene. Well, the home arcade version, the finishing moves is like the arcade. Flamethrower. Mortal Monday. Does it say anything about the Super Nintendo version being censored? Straight poop on MK. Who wrote this? Is that people talked about it? I don't want to read all this. Where's the ACAB? What ACAB? Abacab, whatever it is. Mirroring independently published zines of the day, acclaimed Sam Goldberg explained in press release that the pit was newly designed specifically written to appeal to our target audience. Slamming and jamming with Reptile. Slamming and jamming with the Reptile. I want to use that for something. The Mortal Monday television ad created by ad agency RDA International featured dozens of Mortal Kombat fans charging through New York City streets in a frenzy. The commercial's only dialogue, people shouting the game's name at the top of their lungs like a battle cry, became iconic. They should find the guy who said that, who yelled that version of the quote. That guy is a legend. I don't hear it again. Where is it? I was talking over it. Who cares? That guy. No one cares about that guy. So funny. In the magazine, the Acclaim launched. Wait, what? Am I missing stuff here too? Oh, there's more pages. Oh, you can read the comic book. Is that the whole thing? I don't want to read it here. Get the shirt. Acclaim launched a large print ad campaign in magazines and comic books in the months leading up to Mortal Kombat's home release. Some of those ads didn't have much to say at all to get their messages across. Mortal Kombat. Here's Raiden, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Kano, Goro. Wait, Goro gets to be on there too? What about Shang Tsung? Prepare yourself. The train crowd in the background and this otherwise minimal avatars that calls back to the stampeding fans in the commercial. Mortal Monday. What was I doing on Mortal Monday? Definitely not doing any of this shit. Game Gear and Game Boy is hilarious. I want to play those games. I guess I can, huh? Home versions of the Mortal Kombat were imminent. As fans prepared for the Mortal Monday release date, anticipation became Acclaim's greatest asset.
The first time I saw a crowd gathered around a Mortal Kombat cabinet when I was 10 told me that, okay, this game is a big deal at my arcade. I had no idea if that translated outside my arcade. Then Mortal Monday happened. Not just the day itself, but the build up to it.
Seeing the zeitgeist around it was huge. Conversations.
Whoa,
around
all those
Monday were
magazines.
the first kind of big marketing push.
Acclaim was clearly, they knew what they had in their hands, and so they were doing a much bigger effort in promoting it. I remember them telling us that they were going to spend $10 million to advertise this game, and I remember saying, you know, are you sure you want to put that kind of money behind this? And you know, in retrospect, of course, that was a right decision, but
That's crazy, seeing the actors come out.
that they were
They're signing it? That's cool.
The preparation
I don't even know who the most
the
people are
release of
besides
Mortal Kombat was just massive.
Kano
I was
and
working at Babbage's
Raiden.
software. Pre-sales had started early, so like we knew we were going to be just selling out. It was all I could talk about.
I remember going to see a movie, I can't remember which film it was, and they were advertising Mortal Mondays, which was one of the greatest marketing
Dog.
blitzes in video game history. And it was just, you know, all
This
these,
room is
kids
crazy.
yelling in the middle of a city street, Mortal Kombat, Mortal
That's
Kombat,
cool.
right?
Cliffy B's house or whatever. This weird Black Lodge thing he's recording in is crazy. Look at this TV.
Like people running down the street.
Mike
screaming
Drucker,
Mortal
weird.
Kombat, and they were teens, and I was a little kid, and teens are the coolest thing you could be when you're a little kid.
You don't have to show screenshots or anything else necessarily. Everybody knew.
Just put Goro on there.
All you have to do is just have somebody out in the middle of the street just putting up his arm saying Mortal Kombat. It's almost like, hi, it's here. It sells itself.
Man, anime fans will never understand. Not like I would understand, because I didn't know Mortal Kombat was back then. Until the Super Nintendo version came out. And I played it at a friend's house.
Yo, did you see that Mortal Kombat commercial? What is Mortal Kombat? And there was always like one kid who knew a little more. It's a video game, but you kill people. And all of us at Maplewood Elementary School were like, "What?"
Killing
We
people.
had
Oh,
two
never
front
mind.
monitors that were just showcasing Mortal Kombat videos and
Sharp
in the
TV.
comics, on the back of the comics, there were Mortal Monday ads. There were Mortal Kombat ads in magazines. There were Mortal Kombat ads in subways.
Whoa, look at that
standees and the
TV.
posters and things at Times Square, and
the signage that was coming in, every piece of memorabilia that was coming in, and T-shirts, and it was just over the top compared.
I wonder how these actors felt. I mean, maybe they're dead now. I don't know. But like, I want to see their
Even though it was a huge arcade,
interviews with them, like, what they thought about it before and after the game came out. The CES,
It was insane. There's a giant line.
lots of Ed looking over
and
shoulders.
It was just so exciting.
That's when I realized, like, this is actually a bigger deal than maybe any video game that's come before it. Mortal Kombat became a pillar of popular culture within 12 months. It was, I think, the fastest a video game had ever exploded to date.
Nothing could prepare you for it.
Prepare
It was-
yourself.
it was
Goro.
just insane.
Goro. I just put Goro in all my marketing materials for Hamburger-kun. Mortal Kombat Genesis. So I can just play the game right here. The Genesis version of Mortal Kombat supported Sega's recently released 6-button controller. Sega, which had its own internal rating system, gave the game an MA13 rating, likely because the most violent content was hidden by the secret code. The Blood Code. While the Genesis version initially seemed to lack the blood and fatality moves from the arcade original, this was a ruse. If a player entered the code Abacab, inspired by a 1982 rock album from the group Genesis, oh that's funny, on the screen, the original violent scenes would be enabled. The word code. Oh, there was just There was just a screen. I never had a Genesis. So I didn't know any of this shit. I just heard about it, but I know there was an actual screen that just talked about codes for you to put the code in. That's wild. An ethical code. That's hilarious. That's very funny. The Dullard code. The Genesis version included a full cheat menu. Access by entering up, down, up, left, A, right, down as the game's menu. This was originally intended to be the only method of enabling Bud, but the game felt that spelling out the word Dullard would be too tricky. Ask programmer Paul Carruthers to add a sequence using only face buttons. Oh, so is this the modes they're talking about that could turn off special weapons or whatever? Special secret moves? The Dullard menu let players turn on 8 flags, which change the player's behavior. Flag 0 killed the computer in 1 hit. Flag 1 killed the player in 1 hit. Player 1 killed the player in 1 hit. Flag 2 forced objects to fly across the moon for finding reptile. Flag 3 made Probe Software co-founders Fergus McGovern's head appear in the pit. I don't see that on this here. And more flags. Flag 4 forced reptile clues to appear. Flag 5 gave the player infinite credits. Flag 6 forced the computer to always use fatalities, and Flag 7 made all fights take place on the Palace Gate stage. Mortal Kombat Go CD. In May 1994, Sega players got an upgraded version of Mortal Kombat if they owned a CD-ROM drive. The Sega CD edition of the Mortal Kombat used its storage capacity to restore many frames of animation and speech samples, and Dan Ford's arcade soundtrack. However, the sluggish load times, including whenever Shang Tsung transformed, hurt the appeal of this version. Interesting. Bigger, better, louder, meaner. The first version of the ad has Sega's May 13 reading. Fun to good game rating console on the second show. Let me see. Okay, zoom in on this there. Oh, that's kind of wild. I like how they have a picture of a CD. That's pretty cool. That's nice. The Brazilian ad for the Sega CD version replaced bigger and better with more bloody and more violence. That's cool. Let's play the Genesis version. I never played the Genesis version like really before. Oh, cool. 3D model of the box with scuffs on it. Nice. I can't even rotate this correctly. Let's play it. Let's turn on blood. I don't want to ACAB it. I mean, whatever it's called. I've never really played this version of the game. I probably played it on emulator, but I mean, before, like a few times. It's so crazy. They give you plenty of time to put the code in. Let's put on very easy. Give me hella credits. Sub-Zero. He doesn't even say his name. But this is a better version of Mortal Kombat, right? It looks way worse. Wait, what the hell? I can't slide. Wow. This is a better version, huh? That's low kick, right? Why can't I slide? They changed the input? Back B and Y? What? B and Y? That's 2 kicks. What the hell is this shit? That's crazy. Maybe because the default controller didn't have enough buttons. That way. Forward down, forward high punch still. That's wild. I've never really seen this version before. It's like a Game Boy Color version of it. I should play the Game Boy version at some point. This music is in the original, is it? Maybe. Maybe it is. Who did the voice sample of the announcer? Flawless victory. Fatalities. No. There's no announcer on that part either. Can you do jump kicks and kill him that way? No, he blocks it. Damn. Fudge. What a cheater. Fatality. That was an announcer. That's crazy. Warrior Shrine. Yeah, this is music for sure. Oops. I jump by accident. Gotta mash it. Yeah, jump kick. Excellent. It's so good. Some guy saying excellent a bunch. Slide. Freeze. Uppercut. Slide. Freeze. Uppercut. Slide. Oh, I'm in the corner. Jump kick, uppercut. I didn't do that. Oops, I didn't do that. I beat the game. I put it on very easy. Oh, A and C. What are the What's A and C? What are the buttons? Oh. Oh, I died. Oh, the pit. What? I didn't mash it. What? Oh, it worked anyway. There we go. I'm excellent. It's already 1 a.m. That's crazy. What? I'm due to the pit fatality. We'll go back to the, what do you call it? The documentary. Oh, you didn't even hit any spikes. There's no spikes there. He just hit the ground. We have to kill him anyway, but still. Let's go back. Okay, it knows I'm back here. Cool. Oh, the NES version. Nintendo's strict content guidelines meant the SNES version of the Mortal Kombat was heavily censored, with no blood code to restore the arcade content. Sweat flew from the fighters instead of blood, and fatalities now called finishing moves were altered to be far less gory. Working for Probe Software, programmer Paul Carruthers converted Mortal Kombat to Sega Genesis, while Sculptured Software's John Blackburn stepped in to get the Super NES version finished when the project hit some problems. Ooh.
We were aware that Acclaim had a deal that they were going to do all the home games, because also they had done super high impact for the home. And Acclaim had their kind of production group, which was our main point of contact, but then they had the two software houses, you know, Probe and Sculptured. And so there was a lot of communication that had to kind of bounce back and forth.
Why are their TVs like lopsided? It's like, it look. Oh, it's an old CRT, I guess.
Combat on the Mega Drive. The Genesis
Paul Carruthers. Oh, the
I said yes.
programmer.
I'm free. I'm available. Like a job's a job, and I said, well, what is it? They were able to kind of actually bring me an arcade machine into my house.
Interesting. Should add in 1 minute if you want to avoid the ads.
And kind of started playing it, and I thought, well, this looks easy enough.
Super Nintendo version.
1 was going to be made for the Super Nintendo through Sculptured Software. We had a program.
And none of these programmers have good mics.
Place, and brought him in. Said, "Hey, you're the main guy," and that did not go as well as we would have wanted it to go.
Test your white.
That's pretty funny.
Ed and I would get versions of the game, and so I would give feedback in terms of the pixel art as best I could. Of course, the home games at the time, they didn't have quite the capabilities that we did in the arcade.
That's not the way my game looked like here.
Wasn't as much the power of the machine, but how big the memory of the Mega Drive was. In A, we had to shrink all the sprites really down as much as we possibly could, and there's a lot of frames of animation in there. You know, we started off by kind of basically taking out every other frame, and that wasn't enough. So then we had to take out like 3 out of 5 frames, and then kind of concentrate on the important animations, the ones that we see most. Williams have a method of writing. It's almost like a kind of multi-threading. It's like that there's a number of different programs all operating at the same time. So one of those programs operates one of the characters, one program operates one of the weapons, one of them operates the background, and all of those different little programs kind of speak to each other. That isn't a method of programming I had any experience of. It took me a while to work it out. A kind of pro were getting very nervous because there wasn't anything on the screen. I was working, there wasn't anything on the screen. And then eventually I was able to basically kind of translate the original code almost line by line.
That's crazy. Programming is hard. Sounds hard.
And the whole thing kind of came to life.
I did this already. Didn't they? What? It goes right into the game?
What it meant as well, though, was that it was very accurate, you know, very close to the original arcade version in terms of how it feels playing it. So everyone was then very happy with me, which was great.
Genesis played much better, and it had the blood, the abacab, and all that.
Get over here!
Super Nintendo version looked great, but it didn't play as good as the Genesis version.
The programmer
He grabbed his boob. And he died.
He made some missteps at the beginning of the project, and it was really hard to finish. These were conversions. These were not original games. You're trying to take the code and the assets.
Nowadays, you call them remasters.
They had this little multi-processing system in there.
Or D-master.
I want to do it my way. So he's going against the grain the whole time.
Johnny Cage wins.
The quality of the game was something that that was important to us. I know Ed was a stickler in terms of what he was willing to approve.
Come here!
And we were
That's cool.
down to the wire. We were saying that we're not going to improve it until you fix this, this, and that. And
I ended up having to help him, so it got done, but it didn't. It played not quite as well.
They needed to build millions of cartridges, and there's lead times involved with that. And so those two things kind of conflicted a couple times, and there was some tension there.
Interesting. Let's play it. Just a little bit. Are there options? Face reptile, rewind. Ah, that's cool. No blood code, but Goro punches the claim logo. Very easy. Hand. I guess there was a hand-to-hand mode. I guess I never knew that. Or I didn't know what weapons were. Because I always knew them as special moves. Not weapons or secret moves or whatever they called them. Should I go with Scorpion this time? No, we gotta see the evolution or de-evolution of Sub-Zero. It's input the same still, back, low punch, block. Oh yeah, at least the slide's the same. People say the other one's more accurate, but the slide is different. Oops. We can take out. We'll only play one match and then we'll get two. People saying, I don't know, the control feels laggy. I don't know if that's the emulation or if that's just how the game was. Because apparently it was shitty. Because I'm pressing forward and he's not really walking. Do the fucking slide. That's kind of cool versus his spine rip. At least he uses his ice powers. I heard like turning off the CRT filter can decrease the lag. Let's do all that shit. Let's see if that changes the response time. It looks way worse. No, it's the same, it feels like. You fucking do the slide, B. Okay, that's enough of that. I'll turn these back on. And then quit the game. Game Gear. The downscaled Game Gear version omitted Kano. Well, you couldn't even play as Kano? Secret code did allow players to see Violet Red blood on this 160 by 144 pixel screen. The Little Blood code. Game Gear version was granted the ability to display blood played as a special code 212 down up as its code of honor. Is that what it's called? Let's play this one just a little bit. Game settings. Blood on, 1 hit kills, who cares? Again, we gotta see the evolution of Sub-Zero. Game Gear is crazy. I'm pressing. Whoa. No Kano. Easy. This looks terrible. Whoa, we're in Goro's lair already? Oh, these buttons. Oh, I didn't know what the controls are. What's freeze? Oh fuck, how I block? This sucks! The sprites are too big. How do I slide? Okay, I should turn on the move list, I guess. Back XA. I can't do the freeze. There it goes. Okay, can I still combo uppercut into that? Okay, you have to input the input very deliberately. Oh, I won. This game sucks. Do the slide. What's my face? Oh, I'm about to die. Fudge. What? I didn't get the finisher. I was too busy mashing. That's trash. Can I rewind? Hold on, rewind. Yeah. Forward, down, forward. What? Cool. Alright, enough of that. Game Boy version. Many concessions were made to squeeze Mortal Kombat onto a Game Boy cartridge. The moves needed to reconfigure to work on a system with only 2 action buttons, including pressing both A and B together to block. Is crazy. What the slide on that? Only the Game Boy version offers Goro as a playable character. Complete the game with any character. When the end screen appears, hold up, left, select, and the A button until the title screen appears. Press start to play as Goro. Interesting. Goro lives as you. Alright, let's try this one. Can I put Goro? I can't put Goro in. Fix difficulty. Interesting. Enable GBC mode. Sure. I don't know why I did that. Now it's gonna not be as cool. Well, yeah, I don't turn off. I want to turn off GBC mode. That seems like cheating. It's crazy they're able to. Oh, even the battery light is flickering. Interesting. Oh, this looks amazing now. Actually, which one's Sub-Zero? Which one's Scorpion? I assume this one's Sub-Zero. Oh, this looks amazing. Oh, this looks good. Oh yeah, put move list on. Shit. Back and forward A. He just punches it out. Down, forward, down X is slide. Can do it. How quick do I have to put the input? Forward, down X is crazy. I don't even know what the hell is this. I can't do the fucking slide. Is the input broken? I died. Okay. Where next? I cannot do the slide. What the... Oh, there it is. God, it looks terrible. This sucks so bad. Holy God, this is trash. Okay, go, just fucking die. I don't even want to finish this match. This 2 is... Maybe it's the poor emulation. Maybe it's an amazing game. Otherwise. But why though? In the arcade, Mortal Kombat Thunder... it explains it here. Mortal Kombat Thunder God Raiden was spelled with an I. In home translations, it became Raiden with a Y. The original spelling was associated with a vertical scrolling shooting game owned by other parties, so Acclaim changed that spelling to keep things legally safe. See? Told you guys. Awesome fighting action. Wait, I'm missing stuff here. I'll have to look at the box art. Acclaim follows a Mortal Kombat campaign with ads touting accolades from the press, including GB Action's strong proclamation that Game Boy version would whip Street Fighter 2 into the pit where has-beens fester. What the fuck does that mean? The game, I just played it. The game sucked. I don't. Maybe Street Fighter 2 on the Game Boy is even worse. Okay. Mortal Kombat in Brazil. While North American gamers got a Game Gear version, players in Brazil also had option of a Sega Master System version, as this Portuguese advertising notes. Then why didn't they put that in this collection? What the fuck? Mortal Kombat in Germany. Mortal Kombat was marketed worldwide, with these German ads telling fans, "Bereite dich vor," prepare yourself and be ready to fight your way through when the game arrived at home systems. Schlagler, whatever. This German ad, whose headline reads "Blow by Blow," cites several positive reviews for the Mega Drive version, ending with, "In short, it's the kick you need now." Okay, cool. Global stuff. With the 16-bit console wars in full effect, most gamers owned either a Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, but not both. Some Mortal Kombat fans took sides, while others were simply happy to be able to play their favorite game at home in any form, no matter how many compromises were involved.
Mustard and myself grew up in a really
I love these guys, dude. These are
The
my favorite Mortal
closest thing
Kombat
you have to
content
an
creators.
arcade machine is the local bowling alley may have had like a light gun game, but that's pretty much it. It was only the home versions that allowed us to experience the different franchises, and I feel like I unofficially speak for quite a lot of people our age, how important getting those home versions as good as they were was. So that the rest of us could still experience it in different parts of the world, that arcades weren't as common, especially those small towns.
Which side was I
Same.
on in the home versions? There's only one side. Like, what do you know? It's just the Genesis version. There's only one version of the game.
But those are your
The Super
slides
Nintendo
messed up.
version is a travesty by comparison.
I actually thought that even though the Genesis was a little behind graphically than the Super Nintendo, I liked the grittier look of the Genesis
Grittier.
version.
It looks more cartoony to me.
Kinda down and dirty the way Mortal Kombat should.
It looked way more cartoony. It was like super saturated on my TV. Or not just my TV though.
And the real fatalities and
I don't know. Sub-Zero freeze uppercut's pretty crazy looking.
code and all the other cool stuff in it. I think that made up for like the music in the Genesis version being really hokey and some of that other stuff.
My friend had a Genesis. They got Mortal Kombat. His mom would come in every now and then just to look at the screen to make sure there was no blood flying.
Just knock him down.
And so what we would do is we would enter the blood code, we'd play a match or two, and then we'd hit reset, turn off the blood code, keep playing when she came in, and then she'd leave, and we'd turn the blood code back on.
That seems like a
Nintendo
lot of
screwed
work.
the pooch when they didn't allow the blood in the game, and they instead put sweat in it, which the Genesis version outsold the SNES version like 3-1 or something like that. Everybody wanted violence, you know. They wanted
Something like that. I don't trust Cliffy B, but probably.
Like mud.
I mean, I just played it on the collection. It does feel like mud. I'll have to play the real version and compare it.
So I really wanted Mortal Kombat. Not just to fit in, but because I loved it. I wanted it so bad, but my family didn't have a ton of money. So I scraped together all the money I had, and I was able to finally afford Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy.
Oh, that sucks.
And that game is a
I
experience.
tried it. Looks good.
When you play Mortal Kombat in the arcade, it's a little bit heavy and you feel the power of those hits. Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy moved like two frozen people were slowly trying to get close enough to hug.
It doesn't look that bad motion-wise. Gameplay, actually playing it, is bad.
Forward a little bit at maybe 1 frame per minute.
Seems exaggerated. He can't even do the slide.
I cannot do a fatality in this game. I know for a fact they exist because the computer can do the fatalities on that pit level. Instead of having them fall off the stage onto spikes, at the end of each part of the level were just little drawn spikes in the background that you could knock them onto. And I think that was their like makeshift solution
That's funny.
for having a stage-based fatality.
His head went through some traffic cones.
Even as a kid, I knew it was not the best version.
What are you talking about?
But I loved it.
Yeah, it's the best version because
so
you can play
much.
it.
I even put in a Game Genie code that let you play as Goro. Like I did every secret
I
possible.
mean, apparently, if you beat the game, you can play as Goro.
$1 I put into that game.
Goro
And I
lives
still own
through
it, and
you
I'll
or
still
whatever.
play it occasionally because I'm kind of a masochist. But there's something special about it. There's something that's kind of like pure about a Mortal Kombat game that's so weird and watered down and slow that it almost circles back around to being kind of creepy and mysterious.
Oh, Game Gear. Oh no, is that on here too? I guess so. That's probably similar to the Master version. Say Master System version, there, right?
I mean, they may not have been like arcade perfect, but to us, we didn't know any better. We didn't have anything to comparison. All we cared about was just, you know, play the game, have fun with it, you know, and enjoy what we were doing, and that was about it.
Combat on the dance floor. Oh, the Techno Syndrome. I'm gonna get DMCA if they have these songs in here. Side project by Oliver Adams and Hamburger-kun from Belgium's Lords of Acid. Combined samples of the game and claims Seabed doesn't with irresistible high energy dance beats. 1993 single proved popular enough to spawn a whole album the following year. Mortal merchandise. Some of the Mortal Kombat's merchandise took inspiration from the past. Tiger Electronics offered a tabletop battle between Raiden and Goro and an update to Sock'em Sock'em Robots. A hit from the 1960s, while the ad notes that Raiden's lightning moves may electrify you, the toy was in fact entirely safe. Is there blood when you knock their heads off? The ultimate fighting game machine? With every combatant seeking edge in battle, a company called Triax promised its Turbo Touch 360 controller would make executing special moves faster and easier thanks to a unique directional touch sensor. I've seen this thing. It looks terrible. Sub-Zero. This is the evil Sub-Zero. This is Bihan. Of course he's gonna give you this shitty controller to play with. There's more. Okay. Mr. Scorpion goes to Washington. As more parents express concerns over graphic nature of the games being played in the living rooms, American politicians mobilized to bring awareness to the issue and to hold the game industry accountable. In the middle of the holiday shopping season, the United States Senate held a hearing on violent video games. Lieberman and Cole. On December 9, 1993, U.S. Senators Joseph Lieberman and Herbert Cole held a joint hearing on the United States Senate Committees on Governmental Affairs and the Judiciary, during which educators and representatives from the video game industry discussed Mortal Kombat as well as Digital Pictures' full-motion video game Night Trap and Konami's target shooter Lethal Enforcers. I don't even know what Lethal Enforcers is. Describe Mortal Kombat. Oh, they have a video of this? That's crazy. Bloods. Oh, yeah, I just want to hear it.
Splatters from the contestants' heads. When a player wins, the so-called death sequence begins. The game narrator instructs the player to finish, and I quote, finish his opponent.
No, it says finish him. Or her. Okay, wasn't that interesting? Inaccurate evidence. 60 seconds of Mortal Kombat gameplay was shown on videotape, but identified as Sega Genesis. Full arcade blood was visible, and 2 fatalities were shown. By contrast, Super NES version that followed featured no fatalities, only lasted 10 seconds. Expert witness. Experts who offered testimony to the committees included Bill White from Sega, Howard Lincoln from Nintendo. Hearings ended with a vow from the game industry to create a ready system that would be outputted by the end of 1994. Interesting. That's interesting. Video Games Rating Act of 1994. In February, Senator Lieberman introduced Bill S. 1823 called the Video Games Rating Act of 1994 to provide for the establishment of Interactive Internet Rating Commission and for other purposes. The message was clear: if the industry could not or would not regulate itself as other industries already had, the government prepared to step in. Zoom. Well, we have the whole thing in here? That's crazy. I'm not reading that. Game industry rallies. A second hearing was held on March 4, 1994 to give the game industry a chance to show their progress since December. And Senators Lieberman and Cole seemed pleased when representatives from Nintendo, Sega, and Electronic Arts, why was EA there, laid out an ambitious plan to have a rating system implemented by year's end. Enter the ESRB. The Interactive Digital Software Association was formed in the ESA. Okay. Interactive Digital Software Association. In 1994, establishing the Entertainment Software Ratings Board 2 months later. The ESRB's 5 rating categories, early childhood, kids to adults, teen, mature, and adults only, were accepted as an industry standard in June 1994, with minor revisions this system will still use today. The impact. Thanks to its high-profile success, Mortal Kombat accidentally became emblematic of violent video games. However, the controversy would lead to positive and lasting change. Here, both developers and players discuss the critical moment in gaming history.
Video games were becoming more and more sophisticated, maturing.
It was around that time that we were realizing that video games aren't just for kids. The manufacturers of the home consoles.
I'm going to bed after I done with this chapter.
It's like, hey, this is a toy for kids.
We never made Mortal Kombat for 6-year-olds or anything like that. That was never the intention. 4 guys in their 20s, what kind of video game are they going to make?
In our minds, we were creating the game for a certain demographic of player.
Fans of Terminator, Bloodsport, Alien, Predator, you know, all these movies.
All those characters end up in a Mortal Kombat game. Interesting.
20s, 4 guys in their 20s. Nobody mentioned anything during the arcade days.
Once the game came home on the consoles, it came into people's living rooms. That was a shocker to the moms and dads of suburbia.
Blood splatters from the contestants' heads. When a player wins, the so-called death sequence begins. The game narrator instructs the player
Has anyone called it a death sequence?
His opponent.
My parents were very worried about the violence in Mortal Kombat because eventually they saw the news stories. They saw the news stories that were like, you could rip out someone's spine or you could light them on fire. Like, I had a friend who was not allowed to go to another friend's house because he had played Mortal Kombat with him.
And we also really didn't see a lot of animated blood in video games back then. It seems so commonplace today.
What is the difference in between this and violent movies? Why is it different?
No one's looking at movies in the same way as they're looking at video games.
Rock music before it, and comics and heavy metal.
You know, I grew up at a time Elvis Presley's body was blacked out from the waist down because he was gyrating, and God only knows what that's going to do to today's youth.
I do think that there was a number of kind of politicians and other people who were looking for a scapegoat. Kind of this was it. It came along at the right time.
Looks kind of cool on the news.
It was just like, video games are bad, and these are the ones doing it. I think the thing that made me most angry about it was it just felt like no one involved in any of this had ever actually played a video game.
And it continues to be that way, unfortunately.
Outside of very carefully selected footage.
Mhm.
It was like fairly like kind of innocuous.
David
and it was,
Leitch.
like, kind of cartoon violence.
And yeah, it seems
Still,
violent, but ultimately
it's still cartoon violence.
Yeah, it's like
It's still funny. People talk. Even nowadays, people are like, "Oh, Mortal Kombat is too realistic now." I'm like, no, it's not. It's still cartoon, Looney Tune shit. It just looks better.
Had no system of a
See,
rating, right?
this is
Like,
kind of cool.
the CD would say
I mean, Spine Rip is classic, but
movie would say
that's
rated
kind of
R,
cool too.
Violence or whatever. And I think to me that was the fundamental issue. Somebody noticed and somebody objected to it, and we certainly didn't disagree with it.
And so I think that the reaction from Congress and everything at the time almost to me felt appropriate.
Yeah, I'd say having the conversation about violence in video games and ratings in video games ultimately is something that was going to happen sooner or later. Is the industry going to be able to self-regulate, or is the government going to have to come in and do a bunch of really dumb things?
I think that the rating system helps people make more informed decisions about what they're buying, and that included Mortal Kombat. If you're a parent who bought their kids games, they probably shouldn't have been playing Mortal Kombat unless you could supervise them. It was the next step in the maturity of the industry, and the rating system was kind of emblematic of that. It was a way to say, hey, here's this type of game, here's the type of content, make your own choice.
You know, the rating system and stuff that came from it felt like the right choice, to make.
I think that if video games were like a squalling infant that was just learning how to crawl, Mortal Kombat got them toddling on their feet.
Interesting metaphor. Ready for round 2. Success of often means a sequel, and Mortal Kombat was no exception. Entering a new development cycle, the team at Midway focused on new characters, improved technology, even more extreme finishing moves for a sequel worthy of the phenomenon. Oh. Wow. So there are 3 more chapters left. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, I have to go to bed. It's been a long day, even though I woke up at 12 p.m. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you on the flip side. Happy new month of November. I'm going to play Final Fantasy 16, I hope, at some time. Bye-bye. Good night.